The female lead accidentally transmigrated into a book 800 times. Each time, she was trapped in a loop because her death didn't align with the novel's ending. On the verge of a breakdown, the female lead wanted to kill herself, so the system had no choice but to give her a cheat ability, letting her act it out one last time. This cheat hack was get stronger by roasting. As long as the female lead checked in on time every day to roast something, she could receive various generous rewards. However, the blasted system didn't mention that the male leads could hear the female lead's inner voice, including all her roasts. And so, the female lead began her 800th run-through of the novel's plot, recalling the past from her sedan chair. As the legitimate daughter of the current prime minister, the female lead, Yi Qingwan, was raised from a young age to be the future empress. She was skilled in zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting. It was just a pity she was blind enough to fall for the ninth prince, who appeared detached from worldly affairs, but was actually a cunning, domineering man who stirred up trouble. Wanwan's mission was to constantly court death, matchmaking the kind original female lead with the ninth prince until they got their happy ending. The male lead would ascend the throne as emperor, the female lead would become the empress, and Wanwan, as the vicious female supporting character, would be killed by the female lead as a sacrifice. Then, she could successfully retire from this simple, sweet, and inspirational novel. In the first chapter of the novel, Wanwan arrived at the entrance of the academy. The Royal Academy's master was the current Grand Tutor. Though not old, he held a rank equivalent to the 3 highest consorts and was a ruthless character. Wanwan arrived too early. The academy was empty. She yawned and decided to test if her cheat ability worked, so she activated her roasting skill. Later after class, I have to offer myself to the ninth prince, only to be publicly rejected and kicked out of his carriage for the 800th time. It's endless and so annoying. The old Grand Tutor isn't going to teach the Analects again, is he? He's not even 23. He's in his prime, handsome and talented. He probably even has an 8-pack. Why is he spouting classical prose all day? It totally doesn't match his cunning and ruthless persona, okay? No wonder his peers already have kids old enough to run errands while he's still a single dog. After roasting, the female lead let out a long breath. It felt so good. Just then, with a ding, the system announced the check-in was successful. This time, the roasting reward for Wanwan was +2 skill points, +2 beauty value, and a wealth of 100 taels of gold. A sudden windfall. Wanwan rested her chin in her hand, pondering how to spend these 100 taels of gold. Before long, she thought of a great place, the brothel. She had long wanted to visit the E-Home brothel. This money was a timely blessing. Then, Wanwan exchanged her skill points for a golden bell shield. It would come in handy when she got kicked later. Just then, the cunning Grand Tutor finally arrived. Wanwan thought he would be holding the Analects like before, but when she looked closely, the man was actually holding Romance of the Western Chamber. The Royal Academy Master was going to lecture on Romance of the Western Chamber. Has the old Grand Tutor lost his mind today? The next second, the Grand Tutor strode over with heavy steps, walking straight up to Wanwan and staring intently at her. Wanwan blushed a little under his gaze. Why was he looking at her like that? Could it be that he knew something? Half an hour ago, the Grand Tutor, who was reading in his study, suddenly heard a long stream of roasts from Yi Qingwan. When he heard the woman call him dull and cunning, and say that all he did was spout classical prose, the Grand Tutor slammed the Analects in his hand onto the table, his body staggering as he almost lost his footing. Yi Qingwan even had the audacity to guess how many abs he had. The Grand Tutor was furious. He picked up Romance of the Western Chamber and went to find Yi Qingwan to demand an explanation. However, when he actually faced Wanwan, the Grand Tutor couldn't say a word. Wanwan continued to roast him silently in her mind. This black-hearted old Grand Tutor, what's he wandering around for? If he really knew this was the world of a novel, the plot would collapse from the very beginning, and I'd have an even harder time returning to the real world. So annoying. The Grand Tutor didn't know what Wanwan meant by the world of a novel. Could it be a storybook? He instantly realized. Could it be that the world he was in was fake? In reality, the Grand Tutor grabbed Wanwan's wrist and questioned her. Why Yi Qingwan? Is there nothing you have to confess to me? The female lead gets a roasting hack after transmigrating into a book 800 times. But she doesn't know the male leads can overhear her inner voice. The Grand Tutor, having heard her roasts, grabbed Wanwan's hand and demanded she tell the truth. Wan Wan tilted her head, completely confused. Confess what? That I peeked at the grand tutor bathing? She had a sudden idea, thinking the grand tutor was asking about her homework. So she answered obediently, I've already finished yesterday's homework. Seeing that Wan Wan was still pretending, the grand tutor decided to expose her mercilessly. But the words he was about to say turned into, you are quite diligent. You are teachable. Wan Wan smiled and nodded. But the grand tutor sensed something was wrong. He clearly wanted to ask about the novel just now. How did different words come out of his mouth? Could it be that these things cannot be spoken aloud? When it was time for class, Wan Wan pretended to be innocent and urged the grand tutor to start the lecture. The grand tutor's mind was completely on the novel. So what Yi Qing Wan said wasn't a lie. This really is the world of the storybook. How could there be such a bizarre and strange matter in the world? Just then, the male lead, the ninth prince, arrived late. As soon as the ninth prince appeared, he shot Wan Wan a fierce glare. Wan Wan was speechless. Why are the old grand tutor and the ninth prince both acting so strange today? Did they catch some sudden, severe illness? Seeing that everyone had arrived, the grand tutor announced the start of class. Wan Wan sat up straight and properly, studying her books as usual. Finally, class was over. Wan Wan stretched lazily, thinking that the old grand tutor must have taken the wrong medicine today. Even the way he spoke in class was weird. The scene where she gets kicked in the street was about to happen. Although Wan Wan was familiar with the routine, she still felt a little nervous. This time, the ninth prince walked especially fast. He was about to get on his carriage. Wan Wan quickly got into character, running frantically to grab the ninth prince's sleeve to start her act. In a delicate voice, she called out, Brother Muyun, wait for me. The ninth prince looked like he had seen the plague and urged the driver to leave quickly. Wan Wan's acting was superb. She called out with deep affection, Brother Muyun, let me ride back with you in the same carriage. The scene was extremely awkward. The onlookers started gossiping. This Yi Qing Wan has no sense of propriety at all. The ninth prince clearly dislikes her, yet she pesters him relentlessly. How shameless. Someone next to them immediately agreed. Isn't that right? As the dignified daughter of the prime minister's house, she could even become the empress. Why must she devalue herself like this? Wan Wan was disdainful of these people. In fact, she hoped they would speak louder. These were all free hired commoners. The ninth prince seemed to want to escape the scene as quickly as possible, lifting the carriage curtain and dropping the line. This prince has matters to attend to today. Wan Wan also climbed onto the carriage, thinking she wouldn't delay him for too long. As long as the ninth prince kicked her to complete the plot, it would be fine. She grabbed the man's wrist and confessed loudly, Brother Muyun, I like you. Then she threw herself into the man's arms, crying out coquettishly, just take me. Wan Wan's voice echoed through the sky. The gossiping crowd outside the carriage heard it loud and clear. The grand tutor stood to the side, watching. If he hadn't just heard Yi Qing Wan's roasts, he would have been fooled too. But he had to admit, Yi Qing Wan was really uninhibited. To be able to say such things, she's adaptable and quite a character. The grand tutor guessed with malicious intent. The ninth prince right now probably still thinks Yi Qing Wan is devoted to him. But what exactly is this Yi Qing Wan trying to do? Could this be her so-called novel content, which is why she needs to act? The grand tutor couldn't help but wonder what kind of role he played in this novel, and how would the vast political powers of the court develop. It was truly intriguing. The female lead accidentally transmigrates and becomes the vicious female supporting character, forced by the system to madly roast the male leads every day. Unexpectedly, the male leads can hear her inner voice. In the book, the female lead's character setting is the legitimate daughter of the prime minister's house who is madly in love with the ninth prince. Now, the female lead is outwardly clinging to the ninth prince's leg, not letting him go, but in reality, it's to advance the plot and get the ninth prince to kick her. The cold and cunning ninth prince cursed at Wan Wan, insolent. But inwardly, Wan Wan was blooming with joy. This is how a male lead should be. Cold, handsome, and with a touch of misogyny, allergic to any woman other than the female protagonist. This is exactly the state I want. In front of the crowd, she began to loosen her clothes, slowly taking off her outer coat. She said delicately, I truly like you. I'm begging you. The ninth prince was so scared by Wan Wan that he kept backing away. Wanwan's hands, which were taking off her clothes, began to tremble. Why isn't the female protagonist here yet? I've already taken off my coat. If she doesn't come soon, I won't be able to salvage this scene. Just then, a clear female voice came from behind. Your Highness, has this humble lady arrived late? Speak of the devil. The novel's female protagonist, Xia Xuejian, appeared behind Wanwan just in time. Wanwan could finally put her coat back on, silently thanking Xuejian in her heart. If she hadn't come, I would have run out of clothes to wear. Since everyone was present, Wanwan quickly got into character. Her acting skills exploded as she put on a sharp and mean expression, questioning Xuejian. Who are you? The ninth prince stepped in front of Xuejian first and answered for her, the third young lady of the Xia family, Xia Xuejian. This prince's future princess consort. The ninth prince finally said the line. Wanwan, possessed by her inner actress, flicked her sleeves and cried, Brother Muyun, what did you say? Princess consort. At this moment, Wanwan's father, the current prime minister, also arrived on the scene. Seeing his own daughter shamelessly throwing herself at the ninth prince, the prime minister's face turned as black as the bottom of a pot as he hid in a corner. The Grand Tutor, watching the show, clicked his tongue and marveled. What a good show. Qingwan is the prime minister's only legitimate daughter. The prime minister had intended to marry his daughter to the ninth prince. Now the ninth prince has publicly acknowledged someone else as his princess consort. Could it be that this prince, who has no power or influence, wants to publicly embarrass the prime minister who holds sway over the entire court? Interesting, truly interesting. Over here, Wanwan acted as if she had grasped a lifeline, crying and begging her father for help. The prime minister told his daughter not to be afraid and to come to his side. But Wanwan took a step back, moving closer to the ninth prince. It's fine if father stands up for me from a distance. She was still waiting for the ninth prince to kick her. If she was too far away, he might not be able to reach. Seeing his daughter acting coyly next to the ninth prince, the prime minister sighed in disappointment. He asked the ninth prince to give him an explanation. The cold ninth prince stared straight ahead, not wanting to say a word. But Xuejian suddenly dropped to her knees at the prince's feet, begging for mercy. Wanwan watched Xuejian's tearful appearance. She silently roasted in her heart. You're crying so pitifully. Anyone who didn't know better would think you were the one whose engagement was broken. As expected of the female lead, a true drama queen, it's about time for my part. Wanwan rolled up her sleeves, walked up to Xuejian, and unleashed her vicious female, supporting character aura, scolding Xia Xuejian. Stop pretending to be pitiful here. The mere illegitimate daughter of a fifth-rank official dares to act so presumptuously in front of me. I think your Xia family doesn't want to live anymore. Then she turned her head to question the ninth prince that you've been so cold to me these days. It's because of Xia Xuejian, isn't it? After speaking, Wanwan threw herself onto the ninth prince's chest again, crying. As the legitimate, highborn daughter of the prime minister's house, how is she in any way inferior to Xia Xuejian, the illegitimate daughter of a fifth-rank official? Wanwan's lines were well rehearsed. She spoke with deep emotion, saying she had admired the ninth prince since childhood. Everything she thought, everything she did, was for him. Was there still something the ninth prince was not satisfied with? She pinched the soft flesh on the inside of her wrist hard, forcing herself to squeeze out tears. Like a resentful woman, she shook the ninth prince's shoulders, demanding, say it, say it. The ninth prince didn't get angry. He just sighed, then placed his hand on Wanwan's shoulder and explained, I never said you were not good. Wanwan was stunned by his attitude. She blurted out, then do you like me? The ninth prince avoided her gaze and answered weakly, not at the moment. Wanwan evolved from a simp to a super simp, crying and spinning in circles, muttering to herself, it's still because I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of Brother Muyun. After all this drama, Wanwan threw herself into the ninth prince's arms for the third time. Now, she was just waiting for him to kick her away, then leave with Xuejian. Then this part of the plot would be over. However, Wanwan waited for a few seconds, but the ninth prince didn't move at all. The female lead has transmigrated into a book 800 times. Her mission is to be the male lead's clingy simp, and to become the vicious female supporting character who obstructs the original male and female leads from getting together. However, what she doesn't know is that the male lead can hear her inner voice. In reality, Wanwan was hugging the ninth prince's leg, wanting the man to kick her to complete the plot. Unexpectedly, the man didn't move an inch. The original female protagonist, kneeling to the side, apologized to Wanwan. It was all her fault. If it weren't for her, Wanwan and the ninth prince wouldn't be fighting. She would leave now. Wanwan turned her head and gave Xiuejian a grateful smile, as expected of the original female lead, pushing the plot forward in a timely manner. She let go of the ninth prince's leg, drew the prince's sword from his waist, and threatened Xia Xiuejian that you're right. It's all because of you that Brother Muyun doesn't like me. As soon as she finished speaking, Wanwan, holding the sword, pointed it at Xia Xiuejian's forehead. She pretended she was going to kill Xiuejian to provoke the ninth prince into kicking her away quickly. Anyway, she had already redeemed the golden bell shield yesterday, so she wasn't afraid of being kicked. But the ninth prince didn't follow the script at all. He grabbed Wanwan's wrist without a word. Wanwan was frantic. Why is he using his hands? Didn't he always use his feet before? Don't be afraid of hurting me. Just kick me. The scene reached a stalemate. Wanwan thought it was better to rely on herself. It didn't matter if it was by hand or foot, as long as she was thrown out. She leaned her body back, planning to fake a fall. Unexpectedly, the golden bell shield activated at this moment, sending the ninth prince flying several feet away. After a loud bang, Wanwan stared at the man sprawled on the ground, her jaw dropping. It seems the ninth prince can't beat me. Wanwan rushed to the ninth prince, rammed her head into the man's thigh, then hugged his leg and made him kick her in the stomach. Plan complete. Wanwan ran away crying, then fell to the ground, throwing a tantrum. Brother Muyun, how could you be so heartless? I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live. The gossiping crowd started chattering again. The prime minister's daughter is so shameless. She doesn't even care about her reputation or face as a woman. The prime minister awkwardly shielded his daughter in his arms. Wanwan pretended to wipe her tears. In reality, she let out a sigh of relief. This act was so hard to perform, but at least she managed to muddle through it. Now she just had to wait for the ninth prince to take Xia Xiuejian and leave in a grand manner, and this scene would be over. The female lead pretends to be deeply in love and acts like a simp, but in reality, she has no feelings for the male lead. It's all to get the male lead to kick her and complete the plot. However, the male lead can hear her inner voice. After Wanwan's tantrum, not only did the ninth prince not leave, but he also extended a hand to her as she lay on the ground, asking with concern, "Missy, are you all right?" Wanwan was about to go crazy. What the hell is this? The ninth prince considerately squatted down, placed his hand on Wanwan's shoulder, and explained in a gentle tone that he shouldn't have embarrassed her in public. Although he didn't like Wanwan yet, he had no real relationship with Miss Xia. It was just that on the way here, her carriage was startled, and he saved her. After Miss Xia heard about his predicament, she agreed to help him by pretending to be his future princess consort. At this moment, Wanwan was on the verge of tears. Why is the ninth prince explaining this to me? Where's his cool male-led persona? Why is this cold male lead, who is averse to women, explaining things to a female side character he supposedly detests? Wanwan stared at the ninth prince, her eyes filled with confusion. The ninth prince continued, "If there's nothing else, I'll send Miss Xia back first." Wanwan sniffled, thinking in despair. His character has completely collapsed. But no matter what, this scene should be considered past, right? I offer myself, got rejected, and was sort of kicked. Every step was perfectly executed. Flawless. Wanwan scratched her head and questioned the system, right? The system was speechless. If you say so, then I guess so. The Grand Tutor, who had been watching the whole thing from the sidelines, hid behind a wall and mused. This plot is much more interesting than the popular storybooks on the market, especially Yi Qingwan. She's clearly so disgusted she's about to roll her eyes, yet she still has to cooperate with a male and female protagonist performance. How pitiful. The Prime Minister, seeing the farce had ended, helplessly started to lead his daughter away. Just then, a clear male voice sounded from behind. The 10th Prince stood behind them, explaining for his brother. Actually, 9th brother didn't mean it that way. The Prime Minister had no good feelings for him and replied curtly, "I suppose the Prime Minister's residence was aiming too high. In the future, you two princes need not visit my residence again." The 10th Prince continued to apologize sincerely. "I will definitely give the Prime Minister's residence an explanation for today's matter." Wanwan looked the 10th Prince up and down, wondering what kind of explanation he could give her. As a fellow supporting character, she was curious to see how the 10th Prince would push the plot forward. The 10th Prince cleared his throat and tried to salvage the situation, stating that ninth brother was actually very concerned about Miss Yi. Before the 10th prince could elaborate, the Grand Tutor couldn't resist stepping out to interject. Prime Minister, this official feels that the 10th prince is quite right. His Highness the 9th prince was also quite attentive to Miss Yi just now. With a smug smile of someone enjoying a good show, he said, I suppose the 9th prince is just dissatisfied with his marriage being arranged. Why not let them get to know each other on their own? While speaking, he didn't forget to tap Wanwan's forehead with his fan. Wanwan was shocked. Why is this old Grand Tutor sticking his nose in this too? The female lead had been the male lead simp for 800 lifetimes without winning over the cold and arrogant male lead. Now, the male lead can hear her inner voice. Just after the male lead, the 9th prince left with Shuijin. The Grand Tutor sidled up to speak well of the 9th prince, afraid that the Prime Minister would break them up and affect the plot's development. After all, he still wanted to see what happened next. The Prime Minister pulled his daughter over. Since the Grand Tutor had spoken, he would tolerate it for now. Wanwan chuckled to herself. As expected of the Grand Tutor, he doesn't make a move easily, but when he does, he settles things immediately. Awesome. It was Wanwan's turn to perform. She quickly changed her attitude and got into character. With wide, watery eyes, she begged her father not to blame Brother Muyun. It was all her fault. She was too willful. She would go home now for self-reflection. The doting Prime Minister was moved by Wanwan's attitude that Wanner has become sensible. She knows to consider the bigger picture. In the past, with Wanwan's temper, she would have surely burned down the Xia family's house. After returning home, Wanwan slumped over her desk, drawing turtles. The more she thought about what happened today, the more it felt wrong. This 9th prince had been acting strange ever since he appeared at the academy, but the ending seemed to match up. Wanwan's mind was a mess. She pounded on the turtle drawing on her desk, preparing to roast. Finally done with the acting. I'm exhausted. Speaking of which, that 9th prince is such a weakling. He can't even beat a weak woman like me. I should probably thank that black-hearted old Grand Tutor. Otherwise, this matter probably wouldn't be over. The 9th prince should be at Chunshu Bridge by now, right? I don't know where a spooked horse comes from in the middle of the night, charging straight at the female lead. And the female lead is truly useless at everything, a complete freeloader. After a satisfying roast, Wanwan felt incredibly refreshed. Unexpectedly, the system didn't give any rewards for this roast. It seems the reward is a once-a-day thing. What a waste of saliva. Bored, Wanwan lay on her bed, picking her nose. As a cannon fodder female supporting character with few scenes, what was she supposed to do when she wasn't on screen? The novel never said. She shot up from the bed. Does that mean she can do whatever she wants as long as it doesn't affect the main storyline of the novel? Unrestrained, Wanwan dashed towards the door. Eon brothel, here I come. The female lead disguises herself as a man and sneaks into a brothel for drinks and entertainment. The brothel madam had never seen such a handsome young gentleman. She fed her wine and grapes, serving the female lead until she was thoroughly delighted. Little did she know, the cold male lead, the 9th prince, was right outside the brothel, listening to her inner voice. The 9th prince gritted his teeth. Yi Qingwan was certainly having a good time, cursing him. Before he went to the academy today, these strange words had frequently appeared in his mind. He had thought it was someone's prank, but unexpectedly, the content of those words was confirmed in the carriage, especially when Yi Qingwan interacted with him. The 9th prince could clearly feel that she was acting. Although the performance was very realistic, a closer look revealed that it was all superficial, with no real heart in it. The 9th prince angrily punched the railing, finding it hard to accept that Yi Qingwan's previous love for him was all an act. Watching Wanwan having fun in the brothel, the 9th prince seethed with anger. This woman had been toying with him all along. How detestable. Xia Shuejian didn't understand why the 9th prince was so angry. Had he remembered something, or was there some disturbance in the palace? The 9th prince recalled Wanwan's roasts. Those words said Xia Shuejian would be hit by a spooked horse, and that he would rush to save her without a second thought, spinning around with Shuejian in his arms. But where was the horse? The 9th prince stared at Wanwan on the 2nd floor, completely bewildered. Wanwan rested her chin in her hand, watching the show. The spooked horse is about to appear. 10 seconds to go, 3, 2, 1. Sure enough, after the countdown, the spooked horse charged from the other end of the bridge. The 9th prince subconsciously wanted to push Shuejian away, but a strange thought popped into his head. Why isn't she dodging? At this distance, she can clearly get away. Shuejian stood frozen in place, shouting, "Your Highness, save me." Ninth prince retracted his hand and stood there, watching coldly. He wanted to see if Xia Xuejin could dodge it herself. The moment the horse's hooves were about to trample Xuejin, she dropped and rolled, perfectly avoiding the danger. The ninth prince's jaw dropped. She really could dodge it. The slight drunkenness Wanwan was feeling was washed away by the scene before her. Why didn't he save her? Where's the hero saving the damsel? The embrace? The original plot? Having accidentally transmigrated into the vicious female supporting character, her inner voice was overheard by the male lead. The ninth prince, having heard Wanwan's roasts, refused to save the original female lead for the first time. Unexpectedly, Xia Xuejin was still unharmed. The ninth prince now understood. This dynasty he was in, everyone here was just something written in a storybook. He stared at Xuejin and sneered. He wanted to say, "Miss Xia, stop acting. We're all just characters in someone's book." Unexpectedly, what came out of his mouth was, "Miss Xia, are you all right?" The ninth prince was completely unable to expose it. It seemed the novel world was real. Whenever the plot was involved, the words on the tip of his tongue would change into something else. Wanwan, watching the show from the second floor, started roasting again. She spoiled what Miss Xia would say next. The ninth prince was terrified. It's happening again. Unexpectedly, Xia Xuejin's every subsequent move was exactly as Wanwan had described. The ninth prince couldn't help but wonder in the novel, would he really fall in love with this useless woman who only knew how to cry? A rebellious thought grew in the ninth prince's heart. He would never submit to such a fate. In reality, the ninth prince ordered his attendant to send Miss Xia back, while he himself left, annoyed. The grand tutor, the frontline gossip monger, was hiding in the private room next to Wanwan's, watching the show to his heart's content. He fanned himself and laughed out loud. "Oh, this world is this interesting. How come I never noticed before?" The young servant behind him didn't understand what the grand tutor was talking about. The grand tutor stared at Wanwan's profile and smiled. "I've just discovered some very fun things. And a very fun person." The young servant thought the grand tutor had found a lady he fancied. The grand tutor shook his head. "I wouldn't say I fancy her. I just find her very interesting. She knows everyone's ending, the development of all events, as if she were a goddess. Yet, she is not the protagonist and has to sacrifice herself for the protagonists." The grand tutor put himself in Wanwan's shoes and couldn't help but ask, is she really willing? If the plot continues to develop like this, will she always be content to play a small role that serves others? Thinking of this, the grand tutor instructed his young servant that after returning to the residence, he should pick out some exquisite jewelry and fabrics to send to Miss Yi. He wanted to see if Wanwan would still be willing to be a supporting character after enjoying the treatment only a protagonist should receive. The female lead has a system hack and transmigrates into a novel, but her thoughts are overheard by the male lead. The male lead, the ninth prince, already knows that the world he is in is a storybook. He came to the brothel, wanted to have a good talk with Yi Qingwan. If Wanwan really knew the course of all events, she would be more valuable than a god. The ninth prince wanted to recruit Wanwan for his own use. Unexpectedly, Wanwan refused to see any guests, having the servant lie that she was asleep, blocking the ninth prince at the door. The ninth prince heard the sounds of revelry from within the private room, snorted angrily, and left with a flick of his sleeve, making a mental note against Wanwan. "Since you're deliberately avoiding me, we'll see about that later." After the ninth prince was far away, Wanwan peeked her head out furtively. After confirming the man had left, Wanwan breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't understand. Why did the ninth prince come here in the middle of the night instead of being lovey-dovey with his Miss Xia? But it was her off-duty time now. She refused to work overtime and would not entertain guests. At the same time, the ninth prince's personal guard escorted Xia Xuejin back to her residence. Xuejin, dressed in a simple and elegant white dress, apologized to the guard in a delicate voice, causing the guard's cheeks to flush red. After the guard left, Xia Xuejin's childhood sweetheart, the eldest son of the head of the Imperial Medical Academy, climbed over the wall into Xuejin's room. He had heard that Xuejin and the ninth prince were almost hit by a horse on the bridge and brought some medicine and food. While squatting down to apply medicine to the wound on Xuejin's foot, the man asked, "Did you find anything out today?" Xuejin shook her head. The man continued to ask, "Are you still going to investigate?" Xuejin's usual weak demeanor changed, and she replied with a firm tone, "Investigate." "Of course, I'll investigate. I don't believe my sister would have an affair with someone. They framed her, ruined her reputation, and forced her to commit suicide by jumping into a well." Shiwejin became more and more agitated as she spoke, her voice choked with emotion, her fists trembling. Although she had been timid and weak since childhood, when it came to her sister, she would go through hell or high water to clear her name. And she believed that the ninth prince, having a similar fate, would surely sympathize with her. He would definitely help her. The next morning, Wanwan started roasting as soon as she woke up. That black-hearted old grand tutor, I don't know what's wrong with him, sending me gifts first thing in the morning. Now I have to send a gift back. What bad luck. Did he see me get dumped by the ninth prince yesterday and send a gift to mock me? After all, according to the original plot, he's Xia Shiwejin's #1 lackey. This time, I'll definitely choose a poison skill to poison him. With a ding, the system announced the roast was successful. Wanwan's roasting reward for today was +2 skill points, +2 beauty value, and 200 taels of gold. Wanwan was thrilled. She exchanged the skill points for a poison skill and the beauty value for bust size. The next second, her chest expanded with a pop. Wanwan jiggled her substantial chest, drooling. If I could take this back to the modern world, it would be amazing. Next, it was time to poison the black-hearted old grand tutor. The female lead, who had transmigrated into the book 800 times, had long lost all reverence for the male leads. Today, she was going to poison the cunning old grand tutor, who asked the grand tutor in the original work to be Shiwejin's lackey. He sent her a gift for no reason early in the morning, forcing her to return the favor. However, all of Wanwan's inner thoughts were heard clearly by the grand tutor. Wanwan carried the fish porridge she had made and approached the grand tutor with a fawning smile. She diligently brought the spoon to the grand tutor's lips, claiming that this bowl of fish porridge was a thank you gift from a student to the grand tutor, and he absolutely could not refuse it. The grand tutor was speechless, afraid that Wanwan was really going to poison him. He took the fish porridge into his own hands, not daring to take a bite. Wanwan's eyes were filled with blatant expectation. The grand tutor stared into her eyes, but Wanwan's gaze shifted away. Now the grand tutor was sure. The little brat had really poisoned him. So he pretended to take a spoonful of porridge and blew on it to cool it down. Wanwan urged him impatiently. "What are you blowing for, old grand tutor? Hurry up and drink it." She silently roasted. Did he find out? Impossible. Isn't this laxative colorless and odorless? The grand tutor heard that Wanwan had given him a laxative and froze on the spot. He came up with a plan and handed the bowl to the girl, saying that the porridge tasted a bit off. Wanwan held the fish porridge and sniffed it from left to right, but couldn't find anything wrong with it. The grand tutor came up behind Wanwan and waved his hand dismissively in a sarcastic tone. This fish might not be fresh. The porridge it made smells a bit. Wanwan was puzzled. She had just caught the fish this morning. How could it smell? The old grand tutor pinched Wanwan's nose, telling her to smell it carefully. He even took a spoonful of fish porridge and brought it to Wanwan's nose. Wanwan still didn't notice anything unusual. The old grand tutor, possessed by his inner actor, rested his chin in his hand with a sad expression. Could it be that I'm sick? Is there something wrong with my sense of smell? Hearing this, Wanwan nodded eagerly. The grand tutor pitifully brought the spoon closer to Wanwan's mouth. Then, while the girl was not paying attention, he stuffed it into her mouth. Having just swallowed the fresh, hot porridge, Wanwan was still righteously assuring him, "There's no problem. The fish porridge is very fresh and sweet, not smelly at all." The old grand tutor transformed into the big bad wolf, pretending to put the spoon to his nose and sniffing it carefully. Just as Wanwan was still immersed in the sweet taste of the fish porridge, her stomach made an untimely gurgling sound. The laxative had taken effect. Now Wanwan finally realized she had been tricked. She held the fish porridge in her hands and cursed Lu Sheng. The old grand tutor, her grandpa, pretended not to know and asked with concern, "Wanwan, what's wrong?" At this point, Wanwan was clutching her stomach, feeling like her life was over. She explained that she had eaten something wrong in the morning and needed to use the latrine. On the verge of tears, Wanwan made a run for it. An hour later, Wanwan, having finally recovered, was leaning against the wall, barely able to walk. The old grand tutor had already prepared a carriage at the entrance. He invited Wanwan to go out with him. Wanwan wanted to refuse, but the old grand tutor threatened her with a bowl of fish porridge again. Perhaps I should send some to the prime minister to try. Helpless, Wanwan had no choice but to reluctantly get into the carriage. And their destination this time was the underground prison of the embroidered uniform guard. The woman transmigrated into the novel's vicious female supporting character. She must act out the entire novel to return to reality, and the male lead even brought her to see a corpse. She was so scared her legs went weak. The Grand Tutor quickly supported her. At this moment, the two men standing to the side began to argue endlessly that you're the one who poisoned Lu Er. Don't you dare slander me. Yi Qingwan looked at these two men. One was the son of the Marquis of Liangyuan. The other was the third young master of the Marquis of Yong'an's residence. They were both regulars at the brothels. Relying on their family's influence, they bullied men and women. Neither of them was a good person. From the sound of it, young Master Liang and the third young master of the Marquis of Yong'an had a dispute over this courtesan, Lu Er, who was poisoned to death. For the argument to escalate to the point of involving the Grand Tutor, it must be that neither side had conclusive evidence. That's why the embroidered uniform guard was at a loss. Thinking about it, these two are quite interesting. There was no plot involving them in the original novel. They sure know how to add drama for themselves. Do you think I don't know about the dirty things you did with that illegitimate daughter of the Xia family back then? Hearing this, Yi Qingwan realized, could it be the incident where the female lead sister was falsely accused and was ultimately forced to commit suicide by throwing herself into a river? So was your doing. The original novel never explicitly stated who did it until the very end. You've hidden it well. At this moment, the Grand Tutor started teasing her again. Do you need this official to make an introduction for you? She instantly became affectionate. No need, thank you. My heart only has room for Brother Muyun. If I didn't know your secret, I might have actually believed your nonsense. The Grand Tutor got back to the point. Why don't you take a look and see if he died of poisoning? Aren't you very good at poisoning? See what kind of poison he was given. Yi Qingwan really wanted to give him a big slap. Me, the dignified daughter of the Prime Minister's house, coming to this dark dungeon to be your tool? This is ridiculous. But she had no choice but to endure it, and very reluctantly lifted the cloth covering the corpse. The corpse's face, neck, and the private areas on the inner upper thighs were bright red, especially the cheekbones, which were cherry red. It's poisoning. She then asked, was there a charcoal fire in the room last night? The weather is so cold. Of course there was. The doors and windows were tightly shut. Yi Qingwan continued to ask, can you be sure? It's carbon monoxide poisoning. The Grand Tutor next to her was baffled. Carbon what? It's a poisonous gas. Generally, when charcoal burns, it produces a large amount of this poisonous gas. Yi Qingwan gestured continuously that if the environment is sealed and not ventilated, it's easy to inhale a large amount and be poisoned. The Grand Tutor marveled that there were still things he didn't know. But the man next to them couldn't listen anymore. What nonsense are you talking about? Poisonous gas. A young lady shouldn't talk nonsense if she doesn't understand. The other man immediately retorted, how? Is it nonsense? If it's not a poisonous gas, what do you say it is? Before they could agree, the two started fighting. Then, Yi Qingwan pointed at him and said, you don't believe me, right? Fine, I'll prove it. Prove it to you. How are you going to prove it? Tie him up. Everyone was stunned. Tie him up? That's young Master Liang. At this moment, the Grand Tutor directly ordered, do as Miss Yi says. Immediately, young Master Liang was tied up. Yi Qingwan even gagged his mouth. Then she ordered, tie him to the pillar and light the charcoal. This man was tied up to test the effects of carbon monoxide. Yi Qingwan directly ordered, after he's tied up, all unrelated personnel get out. Then the Grand Tutor and Yi Qingwan leisurely drank tea and chatted outside. Curses could be heard from the room from time to time, but the Grand Tutor and Yi Qingwan seemed to have blocked out the sound. They were completely unconcerned. After a while, they finally heard a cry for help. Help, I can't breathe. Ahem. Yi Qingwan ordered, let him out. A quarter of an hour later, young Master Liang was seen lying on the ground, foaming at the mouth and motionless. Yi Qingwan crossed her legs oh, you believe me now. I believe you. I believe you. Young Master Liang nodded repeatedly. Just carry him to a ventilated place to get some air, and he'll be fine. Seeing this, the guards exclaimed, just yesterday, it was rumored that the Prime Minister's daughter devalued herself for the 9th Prince. I thought she was a shameless woman. I never expected her to easily solve a cold case that even we couldn't crack. Rumors really can't be trusted. At this time, the Marquis of Yong'an had also arrived. The third young master quickly held his father's hand and said, the case is solved. I'm innocent. He bowed and apologized to the Grand Tutor, and no need to thank me. This official did not solve this case. It was Miss Yi. If you want to thank someone, thank her. At this moment, Yi Qingwan was also mentally cursing the old grand tutor. What are you doing? You're supposed to be the female lead's #1 lackey. For something that brings fame and fortune like this, shouldn't you be pinning it on the female protagonist? Why are you putting it on me, the vicious female supporting character? Your character setting is a bit off. Thank you, Miss Yi, for saving my life. At this moment, Yi Qingwan was overwhelmed by the favor, thinking, now I'm screwed. The male lead and the second male lead's characters have both collapsed. Suddenly, she had a bold idea. Maybe I should just kill myself now and start over? This stone table should be hard enough to kill someone, right? Then she thought of something. Wait, that's not right. The old grand tutor is probably doing this because of my father. He wants to win me over to gain the prime minister's support in court. That makes sense. In the original novel, although Lu Sheng was black-hearted, he wasn't this despicable. Now he's actually using a woman to consolidate his power. How shameless. The Marquis and his wife looked at her, completely baffled. The next second, she came to her senses and quickly said, it was just a small effort. No need to be so grateful. The third young master has had quite a scare today. You should quickly take him back to the residence to calm his nerves. She also thought, the Marquis of Yong'an's influence in court is average, but he's a master of business. If I build a good relationship with him, without affecting the main plot, I could open up a new way to make money. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Once I've earned enough money and completed the mission, I can take it back to reality. By then, I'll be a beautiful and multi-talented little rich woman. Then she ordered, lock up young Master Liang for now. The Liang residence will naturally send someone to pick him up. He's the stepping stone for the female lead to make her debut. She didn't want to provoke him right now. After handling the matter, the two of them were on their way home. The grand tutor suddenly leaned close to Yi Qingwan and asked, what do you think of Xia Xuejian? She's the female protagonist. Innocent, kind, intelligent, virtuous, loved by all, with countless men falling for her. Looking at the grand tutor's strange smile, she thought, he's trying to test me. Why did the grand tutor suddenly bring her up? He's not planning to get rid of me for Xia Xuejian, is he? It's nothing. I just noticed you seem to dislike her quite a bit. Yi Qingwan was possessed by her inner actress again, who told her to try and steal Brother Muyun from me. At this moment, the grand tutor leaned closer. Then I'll help you get rid of her. The transmigrated girl, Yi Qingwan, who has a golden finger, doesn't know that the male leads can overhear her inner voice. Thus, the plot is always in a bizarre state. However, the grand tutor, who is supposed to be the female lead's #1 lackey, wants to get rid of the female lead for the vicious female supporting character. Yi Qingwan was suffering inwardly, yet she had to force herself to remain calm and no need to trouble the grand tutor. Can't you just be a good second male lead? You have to cause trouble for me. I want to win Brother Muyun's love in an open and honorable way. I, Yi Qingwan, have no interest in things obtained through dirty tricks. Oh my God, I'm going to die laughing at my own words. Just yesterday, in front of so many people, I declared I was going to kill Xia Xuejian. Now I'm talking about being open and honorable. Who would believe that? Since that's the case, I won't interfere. If you need anything in the future, you can let me know. Hearing in the future, she thought, in the future, you'll become her #1 backup lackey. It'll be good enough if you don't help her mess with me, and I'm supposed to count on you. After returning to the Prime Minister's residence, Yi Qingwan gulped down some water to calm her nerves and began to roast. That old grand tutor actually wants to kill the female protagonist. It gave me a cold sweat. If she dies, the whole world will probably collapse. When he falls in love with the female protagonist later, he'll probably wish he could come back and slap his current self. At this moment, the grand tutor, also staring at the subtitles, was thinking, if she dies, the world will collapse. The setting of this world is that the female protagonist cannot die. Also, Yi Qingwan keeps saying that I'm Xia Xuejian's #1 lackey and will fall in love with the female lead in the future. What role will I play in this world? And what's the deal with young Master Liang and Xia Xuejian's sister? Although he was very curious about the future development of events, the most important thing should be the fight for the throne. It concerned the fate of the country. Once you chose the wrong side, you'll be doomed forever. Just as Yi Qingwan finished roasting, the third young master came to find her. He had saved the third young master of the Marquis of Yong'an's residence today. He invited Yi Qingwan to become a partner in his family's pharmacy. The pharmacy would be their shared asset, with profits split 50-50. All he needed was her medical skills. Just contributing skills as a shareholder? That sounds great. I don't have to spend a penny and can still make a fortune. How could I refuse such a good offer? Let's seal it with a high five, and it won't change for 100 years. I have to roast about something this happy. She opened the panel again and spouted a bunch of nonsense. Suddenly, she thought, by now, the female lead should have traced the clues to the bandits related to the Liang family, right? The female lead is the female lead, so brave. She followed the bandits alone and was almost discovered. That foolish grand tutor heard this. At this moment, he felt that things were not looking good. The trans-migrated girl Yi Qingwan, who has a roasting golden finger, has her inner voice overheard by the male, leads every time she roasts. As soon as she finished roasting about the female lead being discovered while tailing the bandits, the Grand Tutor immediately gathered his men and rushed to the scene. At this moment, the Grand Tutor was extremely anxious. The mere illegitimate daughter of a fifth-rank official actually dared to investigate him. She really has a death wish. In the evening, he arrived at the back gate of Wanquan Temple. According to what Yi Qingwan said, Xia Xuejin would exit through the secret passage behind Wanquan Temple and then follow the bandits out of the city. It would be best to find her before they reach their hideout and then kill her to prevent her from discovering his secret. At this moment, he saw Xia Xuejin hiding by a tree, looking around. The next second, a pebble hit Xia Xuejin's leg. She lost her balance and did a faceplant, landing right in front of the bandits. Seeing that she had been exposed, she could only say that she had gotten lost and ended up here. But the bandits had already noticed her tailing them. Just as they were about to close in on her, Xia Xuejin stabbed at them with a knife. The bandit flew into a rage. "You damn woman. How dare you hurt me?" With a slap, he struck her across the face. Xia Xuejin was slapped to the ground. Just as she thought her life was over, she saw a splash of fresh blood. She looked up and saw it was the ninth prince. The ninth prince took off his own cloak and casually draped it over Xia Xuejin. He asked, "Miss Xia, are you all right? I didn't expect you to save me." Xia Xuejin recovered from her panic. Just then, a subordinate came to report, "Your Highness, these two are the mountain bandits wanted by the authorities for the past 3 years. Take them back first." The words had barely left his mouth when 2 arrows flew out from the shadows, landing at the ninth prince's feet. "Who is it?" The next second, another arrow flew towards him. He held Xia Xuejin and did a big roll, dodging the shot. The ninth prince was furious. Go find out who was trying to silence them. At this, the Grand Tutor, who was hiding in the shadows, turned and left. It seems those 2 bandits were just passing by and happened to be spotted and followed by Xia Xuejin. It's not that she found anything. A female lead who needs the male lead to save her at every turn can't be that smart. I'll let her off the hook this time. However, Yi Qingwan said I would eventually fall for a woman like this. So foolish, reckless, and prone to trouble. What's there for me to like? She even called me the #1 dog hoarder. Just as the Grand Tutor was getting frustrated, the commentary panel appeared again. It said that he originally wanted to kill her, but when he saw the female lead being bullied by the bandits, his heart softened. He was heartbroken. From then on, he was determined to become the female lead's guardian angel, never letting anyone bully her in the slightest. Seeing this, the Grand Tutor flew into a rage. What kind of trash novel is this? This young master isn't playing anymore. Seeing that something was wrong, his attendant stepped forward to stop him. "Calm down. Let go of me. I'm going to kill her." "Young master, the ninth prince is still there. If we don't go back, we'll be exposed." The Grand Tutor, helpless, rested his forehead on his hand and ordered, "Clean up all traces. Don't let anyone know I left the city." The attendant said he would escort him back to the mansion, but he really wanted to go to Ian Bloodhall. That's the pharmacy opened by the 3rd young master of the Yeoman Earl's mansion. "Young master, are you not feeling well?" "No, that's not right. It's getting dark. You should be at Yihong Brothel right now." He then turned ahead for Yihong Brothel. Inside Yihong Brothel, Yi Qingwan was listening to music. As she listened, she grabbed a hand. It felt silky and a little cool. "Little darling, you must take care of your health." She opened her eyes and almost had the soul scared out of her. "Grand Tutor, what a coincidence." "Not a coincidence. I came looking for you specifically." "That's not right. According to the novel, he should be taking Xia Xuejin home. Why is he here?" The Grand Tutor spoke again. "I ran into Xia Xuejin when I left the city today." "That's quite a coincidence." Yi Qingwan breathed a sigh of relief. "Good, the plot hasn't changed. But the Grand Tutor was thinking, "You're such a good actress. Why don't you open a theater and perform?" Then he added that she was almost killed by him. Yi Qingwan spat out a mouthful of water in shock. "But she's the female lead. If you kill her, the whole world will collapse." Seeing her reaction, he thought, so the female lead really can't die. Thinking back, attacking Xia Shuijin from the shadows was a deliberate attempt to expose her, hoping the bandits would take care of her. "It seems I can't do that anymore." Then, the Grand Tutor flicked her on the forehead. She was saved by the Ninth Prince. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank goodness, I would have died without a burial place." By the way, the Ninth Prince played the hero saving the damsel. "Aren't you angry?" Yi Qingwan reacted instantly. "How outrageous. That shameless woman. She must have planned it on purpose." The Grand Tutor, with a look of watching a show, remarked, "It seems you really do like the Ninth Prince." "Of course I like him. Ever since we were little, everyone who was nice to me had an ulterior motive. Only Brother Miyun never deliberately tried to please me. He's a great hero of unyielding integrity." The Grand Tutor couldn't watch anymore. "Just keep telling your barefaced lies. You're the one who looks down on him the most." He turned to leave. "Well, I'll be going then. You can continue kissing your little darling." Yi Qingwan was instantly mortified. The woman thought everything was under her control, but little did she know, her cover was about to be blown. Yi Qingwan just felt that the Grand Tutor's recent behavior was strange. The plot was supposed to be that the Grand Tutor, for the sake of a beauty, would give up all power and wealth, even his own life, becoming a stepping stone on the female lead's path to success. But now, it seemed nothing was going as she had expected. Where exactly did things go wrong? But she didn't know that the Grand Tutor was crystal clear about all these plot developments. Hearing her inner thoughts again, the Grand Tutor decided to first cause some trouble for Xia Shuijin. First, it would keep her too busy to investigate his connection to the bandits. Second, it would give Yi Qingwan a good scare to see if she still dared to curse him at every turn. "Since you've already established this persona for me, how could I possibly let you down?" Right now, he was still unclear about his own ending in this book, whether it was good or bad, or how it would conclude. So, the only thing he could do for now was to try his best to clean up all the problems that had currently appeared. Meanwhile, after Nangong Muyun rescued Xia Shuijin, he sent her back to her residence. "Thank you for saving me today, Your Highness. I have a few more words I'd like to say to Your Highness alone." As Xia Shuijin spoke, she reached out and grabbed the prince's sleeve. The Ninth Prince was taken aback for a moment, then brushed her hand away. "If you have something to say, tell Yue. I have important matters to attend to." He said this and turned to leave. It was only because he had once again heard Yi Qingwan's inner thoughts. Next up was the drama, where Yi Qingwan would force a consummation to coerce the Ninth Prince into marrying her. "Who is so bold as to dare drug Your Highness? This subordinate will go at once." His subordinate, Yue, hadn't finished speaking before he was interrupted by the Ninth Prince. Yue then asked cheekily, "Is it that kind of drug?" "Just as you imagine." He wondered, are all the young ladies these days so fierce? And how did His Highness know? Not only did he not stop it, he even wanted to move the mansion guards away. What on earth was he planning? In the past, those women who used dirty tricks to climb into His Highness's bed were either driven out of the mansion or beaten to death. Now, he was being so cooperative. Yue couldn't figure out why his Ninth Prince had changed so much. At the same time, on the other side, Xia Shuijin was also very surprised to learn that Yi Qingwan was going to drug the Ninth Prince. She asked Yu how she knew about this. She wanted to say, "I can see it," but what came out was, "I guessed." Yu also wondered about herself. Why couldn't she say that she could see the subtitles? Previous events had repeatedly confirmed those subtitles. This time, Yi Qingwan's drugging plot would surely come true, and oh, I have to go save the Ninth Prince. Xia Shuijin said angrily that he risked his life to save me today. I absolutely cannot let him fall for these dirty schemes. Don't go putting yourself in danger again. This, perhaps the Ninth Prince, is tacitly allowing it. Yu tried to dissuade her again, but Xia Shuijin paid her no mind, believing that since the Ninth Prince had saved her multiple times, she held a place in his heart. Besides, the Ninth Prince utterly detested Yi Qingwan. She even confidently guaranteed that a young lady from the Prime Minister's mansion, raised in luxury, could never win against her. But he was worried for Xia Shuijin. As the unranked daughter of a Wei-Yin attendant, how could she possibly rescue the Ninth Prince from the hands of the Prime Minister's precious daughter? With her personality, she couldn't sway her decision. So, why was she able to see Yi Qingwan's inner thought subtitles? The woman complained every day that the male lead was black-hearted, old-fashioned, and annoying, little knowing that her inner voice was being heard by the male leads. Today was the day Yi Qingwan was going to make her move on the ninth prince. Early in the morning, she arrived at the academy. She ran into the grand tutor right as she entered the door. After a cup fist salute, she turned on her heel to run, but was suddenly caught by the grand tutor. Am I black-hearted? Yi Qingwan suddenly realized. How did he know I was cursing him? Is there a surveillance camera in the room? Was I recorded? She was wondering. Seeing her flustered look, the grand tutor continued, not only black-hearted, but also filthy, cowardly, and annoying. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan was about to explode. The clown was actually her. Her survival instinct kicked in instantly, and her attitude changed completely. How could that be? The grand tutor is dashing and elegant, gentle as jade. You are so generous and patient with us. To have such a good teacher is a blessing from our past lives. As she spoke, she dropped to her knees with a thud at the grand tutor's feet, grabbing his clothes. Did someone spread malicious gossip? Grand tutor, tell me who it was. I'll tear their mouth off. Hearing this, the grand tutor's lips curled upwards, revealing a playful smile. Is that so? He leaned down, chuckled, and tapped her nose that there's no need to tear their mouth off. Next time I hear it, I'll use Miss Ye's poison to bite them. Yi Qingwan nervously wrung her hands. Yes, yes, yes. The grand tutor is so cruel. No, what a good method. After speaking, the grand tutor turned and waved his hand. Go on into class. Yi Qingwan patted her chest and breathed a sigh of relief. She still couldn't figure it out. How did the old grand tutor know she was cursing him? Speaking of which, he had been acting strangely these past 2 days, often creating scenes that weren't in the original work. What on earth was he trying to do? Is he trying to forcibly add scenes for himself? And the male lead is like this too. Thinking this, she turned to look at NAMA-MANGAI. Her eyes met his. Now it was awkward. He stared at Yi Qingwan until she broke out in a cold sweat. Did this group of male leads have a collective stroke? This is really frustrating me. She thought, right now, I can only rely on my classmate, Xia Xuejin. You have to be on your game tonight. You have to hit me hard with a club, so hard I can't get up. Don't show any mercy. There absolutely can't be any more mistakes, or this show can't go on. As she was lost in thought, the grand tutor called on her. Why Yi Qingwan? Answer the question. Startled from a deathbed illness, I sit up. What's the next line? This startled her. She stood up slowly and nervously. After thinking for a moment, she blurted out, smiling, I asked the guest where he has come from. The furious grand tutor shouted, go home and copy the book. After returning home, she looked at herself in the mirror and couldn't stop complaining. Dressing according to the original work is just hideous. The author probably thought this was beautiful. Luckily, my face can handle it. A normal person really couldn't pull this off. This hairstyle is just begging to be roasted. With that, she opened the commentary panel and began her once-a-day roast. The author's aesthetic sense is really beyond words. Dressed like an old hen in heat to go drug someone. Wouldn't NAMA-MANGAI go crazy? Xia Xuejin, you have to work hard. It would be best if you knock me out before he even has a chance to touch me. Then you two can go make love. I promise I won't peek. The ninth prince, who was reading this commentary panel, had a dark look on his face. He was so angry that he crushed the teacup in his hand. Yi Qingwan, you've got a lot of nerve. He then ordered Yu Wei, turn off all the hidden traps and mechanisms around the bedroom. Open the doors and windows. Move the mansion guards away. Make sure a certain someone can sneak in smoothly tonight. Yu Wei listened, completely baffled. Then, bring me that suit of impenetrable golden thread soft armor that I spent a fortune on. Because she's bringing a knife. You're afraid I'll go crazy? Then I will most certainly go crazy. It's only reasonable for a drugged person to go crazy. Tonight, I will go along with Yi Qingwan and force this consummation, completely disrupting her plot. I'm very curious to see what she will do, and what will happen to this world. Soon night fell. Yi Qingwan waited in the room for Xia Xuejin to come and save the ninth prince. But she was late to appear. Yi Qingwan couldn't wait any longer. I'll just get the plot started myself. She then quietly snuck into the ninth prince's room, found his teacup, and took out the drug she had prepared long ago, pouring it in. Suddenly, she noticed the tea was still steaming. That must mean he hadn't gone far. Just then, she turned her head and saw the ninth prince standing by the door. Yi Qingwan froze. When did he get there? He must have seen the entire process of me drugging the tea. I'm so screwed. What do I do now? Is it too late to get on my knees and beg for mercy? She thought, if this mission fails, I'll really be sent back to the factory by the system. Just then, the ninth prince slowly walked toward her. She kept backing away, just as Yi Qingwan was screaming for help in her mind. The ninth prince walked past her, picked up the teacup on the table, and drank it in one gulp. This move left Yi Qingwan completely stunned. Why'd he drink it? Did he not see me drug it? But then the ninth prince smacked his lips and said, "What kind of drug did you give me? It's a bit bitter. Add some sugar next time." Yi Qingwan backed away repeatedly. Something's not right. In the original plot, I'm supposed to take advantage of him while he's drugged and disoriented, attempting to force myself on him. Then, with a sliver of sanity, he's supposed to push me away forcefully. Finally, the female lead descends like a goddess from heaven, bursts in, smashes me with a club, and rescues the male lead. After that, the male lead's lust would flare up, and seeing that the person who came was Xia Xuejian, he'd lose control, and the two of them would naturally do the deed. In this entire plot, from beginning to end, besides physical contact, there should be zero conversation between me and the male lead. What is going on now? Whatever, I'll just finish acting out my part first. Yi Qingwan then grabbed the ninth prince. She said in a delicate voice, "Brother Miyun, Wanner likes you. I like you so much." Hearing this, the ninth prince froze. It clearly wasn't sincere, but hearing it still moved him a little. His brow furrowed, and he tightened his lips. He stared intently at Yi Qingwan's emotional expression. The air instantly fell silent. The D-O something. Bro, say something to reject me, so I can continue my act. After a moment of awkward silence, the ninth prince took Yi Qingwan's hand. You like me a lot. Wanner's greatest wish in this life is to marry Brother Muyun. Will you stay and keep me company? After saying this, she immediately hugged the ninth prince tightly. I'm going all in. I'm not leaving. Unexpectedly, the ninth prince spoke such gentle words. What? Yi Qingwan was stunned. The ninth prince leaned down and wrapped an arm around her back. I said, I'm not leaving. I'll stay and keep you company. This left Yi Qingwan unsure of how to respond. Wait a minute. Seeing the ninth prince getting closer and closer to her, she threw a punch. I said, wait a minute. The ninth prince clutched his face, looking at Yi Qingwan in a daze. This is bad. Seeing the situation was not good, Yi Qingwan immediately apologized. I'm sorry. We can talk this out. Who told you to try and kiss me? The ninth prince crossed his arms. It doesn't hurt. Shall we continue? At this point, Yi Qingwan was on the verge of tears. Why isn't the female lead here yet? When the female lead bursts in later, will she be saving him or me? The plot is about to collapse. If this doesn't work, I'll just have to do it myself. To hell with it all. Thinking this, she cupped the ninth prince's face with both hands and was about to kiss him. But just then, Xia Xuejian, outside the window, saw this scene and was debating whether to save him or not. But His Highness looks quite happy about it. If I rush in, no matter how you look at it, it'll seem like I'm ruining their good time. So, should I save him or not? The woman drugs the male lead, just waiting for the female lead to come to the rescue. Little does she know, the male lead is about to deal with her on the spot. She thought everything could proceed according to the script, just waiting for the female lead to come and save the prince. But the female lead was hiding outside the door, refusing to come in. How am I supposed to act this out? Come on, to hell with it all. Qingwan slowly approached the ninth prince, mentally begging him 1,000 times to push her away. But just then, Yi Qingwan stumbled, and the prince, unsteady, couldn't keep his balance. The two of them fell heavily to the ground. At this moment, Yi Qingwan suddenly realized that the ninth prince's drug was also starting to take effect. His face was flushed, and his whole body began to feel hot. His brow was furrowed, and his lips parted slightly. Don't you want me to just go with the flow? Seeing the ninth prince struggling to hold back, Yi Qingwan appeared calm on the surface. But inside, she was about to explode. He's so hot. The drug's effects are about to become uncontrollable. Yi Qingwan didn't know how to proceed in this state. She kept calling for the female lead in her mind. Xia Xuejian, appear quickly. Xia Xuejian, can't you hear my heartfelt call? The organization needs you. At that moment, the ninth prince grabbed her hand, flipped over, and pinned her underneath him. He squeezed out a few words with difficulty. Focus. Seeing the situation getting more and more out of hand, Yi Qingwan panicked. Focus on your damn flowers. I can't do this. To hell with the plot. If this continued, she would be done for. Suddenly, Yi Qingwan used all her strength and started shouting help. Assault. At the same time, Xia Shuejian, who was eavesdropping outside the door, sensed that things were bad. If the people attending the banquet in the front hall were drawn over by her screams, regardless of whether the prince was willing or not, he would be forced to marry her. Thinking this, she picked up a brick from the ground. Your Highness, I'm coming to save you. But before she could finish her sentence, the prince had barricaded the door tightly with a chair. Yi Qingwan panicked. What are you doing? What else? Locking the door to get down to business. Outside the door, Xia Shuejian was still pounding on it. Why, Yi Qingwan, you're despicable and shameless. Open the door. At this point, Yi Qingwan was also on the verge of tears. I want to open it too. The prince picked her up in his arms. The floor is too cold. Let's go sit on the couch. Yi Qingwan panicked. Did I sell my skills? Not my body. Don't force me. She then began to fumble around on the prince's body. Finally, she felt something. Then, without hesitation, she smashed it against the back of the ninth prince's head. The blow made the ninth prince see stars. She immediately broke free and rushed towards the door. But just as she reached the door, she ran into Xia Shuejian, who had broken it down and was rushing towards her with a brick. Why, Yi Qingwan, you're so shameless. How dare you drug the ninth prince? Yi Qingwan was secretly thrilled. Finally, the plot is back on track. I want to hug you so bad. Sob, sob. The rival scene is finally here. She then turned her head, adjusted her state, and said, Xia Shuejian, what nonsense are you spouting? Xia Shuejian viciously pointed at the ninth prince, who had been hit on the head and was still lying on the ground, and said, I saw with my own eyes you drugging the ninth prince's tea, and then seducing the ninth prince. Yi Qingwan said angrily, you're spouting nonsense and slandering my good name. I'll kill you. Go on, kill me. Xia Shuejian raised her brick, not showing any weakness. Meanwhile, Yi Qingwan was cheering internally. This scene has so much tension. Hit me hard. With a loud thud, the brick came down. Yi Qingwan's head didn't crack, but the brick did. Only then did she remember that she had exchanged for the Golden Bell shield at the beginning and hadn't used it yet. Isn't this the perfect time? It's practically an indestructible body. This is bad. Seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Maybe I can let her hit me again with a half brick. I can pretend to faint. It's still salvageable, right? Just then, the ninth prince got up from the floor and said faintly to Xia Shuejian, Miss Xia, this is a private area of the royal mansion. Someone must have helped you get in, right? This is a dispute between me and Yi Qingwan. If you have no other business, please go back. At this, the two who had been arguing heatedly were both stunned. The prince looked at Xia Shuejian before him. He just wanted to give that guy Yue a good beating. More of a hindrance than a help. Escort Xia Shuejian back to her mansion properly. Why are you meddling? At this moment, the prince truly felt like 1,000 alpacas were stampeding through his mind. But Xia Shuejian was still oblivious, once again stepping in front of the ninth prince. Your Highness, don't be afraid. I saw this with my own eyes. Even if this matter reaches the emperor, I will definitely testify for your Highness. The number of alpacas in the prince's mind was growing. I don't need you to testify. Thanks a lot. I despise this kind of despicable and shameless scoundrel who only knows how to use dirty tricks to hurt people. Xia Shuejian, indignant, pointed at Yi Qingwan again and cursed. Yi Qingwan was baffled. Dirty tricks to hurt people? When did that happen? Xia Shuejian again brought up the incident of being ambushed at the mass grave outside the city. Only then did Yi Qingwan have a flash of insight. So she thought the person who threw the hidden weapon and exposed her was Yi Qingwan. Yi Qingwan was so happy she wanted to sing. This scene came out of nowhere. I'll just go with the flow then. That's right. I had someone follow you. What can you do about it? Xia Shuejian couldn't believe she admitted it just like that. Yi Qingwan continued to provoke her. Are you going to hit me? You think I don't dare? Then hit me. Go on, hit me. At this moment, Yi Qingwan wished so much that she would hit her. That way, she could fall to the ground and clock out. All that was left was to wait for the ninth prince's drug to take effect. But she wouldn't make a move. If she didn't act soon, the effects of NAMA-MANGAI's drug would wear off. The ninth prince, seeing them arguing so intensely, felt like he was the third wheel. They weren't here to fight over him. It was clear they were the real couple. But the reason Xia Shuejian didn't make a move was that she didn't want to ruin her image in front of the ninth prince. This woman actually wants her to strike. How vicious. Yi Qingwan saw that the effects of the ninth prince's drug had mostly worn off. If Xia Xuejian didn't make a move soon, this whole scene would be a complete bust. In that case, I'll just take a sleeping pill, faint, and when I wake up, I'll have successfully turned to the dark side and can start my daily routine of destroying the male and female leads. That would be for the best. At this moment, Xia Xuejian was profusely apologizing to the ninth prince, saying she didn't do it on purpose. The ninth prince just felt that she really shouldn't have come here today. Miss Xia, please go back. Seeing this, Yi Qingwan realized she wouldn't get to see them get passionate and felt that her sleeping pill was taken in vain. The next day, Yi Qingwan woke up early. Seeing that she was still alive, she was glad that her act last night wasn't a total mess and had successfully aligned perfectly with the script. This chapter is over. Confetti, she opened the panel. The next scenes are relatively relaxed, occasionally going out on the street and having people point at her nose and call her shameless, or having rotten eggs thrown at her, and such. Meanwhile, the Grand Tutor, who was enjoying the show, was sipping his tea. He thought, luckily, most of NAMA-MANGAI's mansion guards were drawn away last night. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to see such a brilliant scene. I hear Xia Xuejian's hand is still swollen like a pig's trotter. Yi Qingwan is truly a remarkable woman. The next scene is where the female lead, in order to escape the male lead's control, sneaks out of the city at night and gets kidnapped by mountain bandits. Seeing that she's beautiful, they forcibly keep her as the bandit chief's wife. Then the male lead angrily leads his troops to besiege the bandits. This plot is truly she flees, he pursues, she has no escape kind of drama. Hearing this, the Grand Tutor was already roaring with laughter. But the ninth prince was already fuming that why Yi Qingwan? Am I that foolish and disgusting in your heart? You have the time to pair me up with others. Fine. From now on, I'll make sure not a single one of your scenes goes according to plan. Just let Xia Xuejian be the bandit chief's wife for the rest of her life. I will absolutely not lead troops to besiege them. Even if I go, I'll get rid of her too. To think I would be tricked by such a stupid spy, leading to my family's ruin. But no matter how I look at her, she doesn't seem very smart. Ever since Yue let Xia Xuejian into the mansion last night, the prince had been fuming. He ordered Yue to find a pigeon egg-sized luminous pearl from the storeroom and send it to Xia Xuejian. Get rid of her quickly. Then find a kingfisher feather headdress that my mother left me. Hearing this, Yue immediately got excited. I asked this also for Miss Xia? Your Highness, are you proposing marriage? No, I'm sending it to Yi Qingwan. Yue was stunned. Has His Highness been possessed today? In just one night, the prince's attitude towards Yi Qingwan had done a 180-degree turn. Not only did he not pursue the matter of the drugging, but he was also giving her such a valuable kingfisher feather headdress. Could it be that His Highness has fallen for her? How is that possible? His Highness has detested Yi Qingwan since childhood, and she even dared to drug him. This is basically like dancing on His Highness's last nerve. So, His Highness is sending her the headdress to lull her into a false sense of security, making her mistakenly believe he intends to marry her, only to then break off the engagement, ensuring she can never recover. Yes, it must be like that, as expected of His Highness. So ruthless, so heartless, so cunning. He looked at Yue, who was lost in his own imagination, completely baffled. At the same time, Yi Qingwan, having just finished a big scene, was cultivating her mind in boredom. Just then, her mother came to her and began to blame herself. It's all Mother's fault for not paving the way for your marriage, causing you to do such a risky thing. She had clearly blocked the news since last night, but early this morning, the news had spread all over the streets. Even the emperor knew about it. For this, your father was even punished for failing to discipline his daughter, grounded for a year and confined for 3 months. But she didn't know that all of this was Yi Qingwan's masterpiece. She vowed to find a way to make the ninth prince marry her. Yi Qingwan was suffering internally, shouting, "Don't add to the chaos." After finally sending her old mother away, a maid came in holding a box. "Miss, a noble from the capital has sent you a gift." She casually asked who sent it. The ninth prince. Hearing these 3 words, Yi Qingwan spat out a mouthful of water, startled. She instinctively told her to take it far away, it's some kind of bomb. But she couldn't resist her curiosity and wanted to see what it was. So she timidly found a wooden stick and carefully poked the box open. When she opened it, what met her eyes was a glittering blue kingfisher feather headdress, exquisite and magnificent. But based on Yi Qingwan's understanding of NAMA-MANGAI, a black-bellied person like him, how could he possibly send such a valuable gift? He must have put poison on it. She then ordered, take it out, dig a hole, and bury it. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that the male lead was acting strangely. I need to accelerate my descent into darkness and get to the satisfying revenge plot as soon as possible to save myself from being scared like this every day. In the original work, she turned to the dark side after being discovered for drugging him, which led to her family's extermination. Being discovered for the drugging and scorned by thousands was just the beginning. Something major happened after that. I vaguely remember saving someone, but that step led me right into a trap. That person took advantage of my heartbreak and public scorn, staying by my side, making me mistakenly think I had grabbed a lifeline. I didn't expect that person to use my trust to steal the Prime Minister's official seal, forge a letter, and get my entire family framed, arrested, and their home confiscated. To save my parents, I took all the blame and was eventually exiled to the frontier. Even so, there were still people who wouldn't let me go. On the way, the person sent to take my life had wicked intentions. Such humiliation made me lose the last shred of my humanity and completely turn to the dark side. Yi Qingwan really couldn't understand the reasons for the female villain's descent into darkness in ancient times. Being deceived, scorned, parents imprisoned, exiled to the frontier, none of that made her turn dark, only this. The next day was another boring day. If only I could get to the ending. As she was sighing, with a thud, a man in black fell from the sky. Yi Qingwan turned to look. An injured, masked man was lying stiffly at her feet. Yi Qingwan stared at the scene, stunned for a moment. Why does this feel so familiar? She then picked up a small wooden stick and poked him. Hey, assassin, are you still alive? At that moment, the man in black's eyes shot open. He raised his hand and pointed a dagger at Yi Qingwan's neck. Don't scream. She suddenly remembered that this was the guy she saved, the one who caused her family's ruin. Yi Qingwan pretended to be weak, that I'm not screaming. Just then, the man in black suddenly spat out a mouthful of old blood. He then felt his knees. Help me up. He was still muttering medicine. Then, with a trembling hand, he picked up a bottle of medicine. Seeing his clumsy appearance, Yi Qingwan couldn't help but want to help him. Just tell me what you want. I'll find it for you, okay? It's frustrating just watching you. Don't try any tricks. Yi Qingwan grabbed his hand. This is my house. My territory. If anyone's going to play tricks, it should be you, right? That's true. Then find me the Jin Chuang Yao for external injuries. I've lost too much blood and can't see clearly. At that moment, Yi Qingwan ripped open his clothes, causing him to cry out in pain. Looking at his stupid and clumsy appearance, Yi Qingwan thought, are you sure you could be a spy and trick me? Is there something wrong with you? Being tricked by someone like this is an insult to my intelligence. If it weren't for the plot, I would have kicked you into next week. Yi Qingwan thought impatiently that don't tell anyone about what happened today. Otherwise, I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth and take your life. Looking at this moron, she could only say with a smile, don't worry. They wouldn't need to go to the ends of the earth. They would see each other again tomorrow. She watched as he leaped up and jumped onto the wall. He missed his footing again and fell down. It was truly unbearable to watch. Yi Qingwan could only whistle and pretend she didn't see anything. Then she watched as he huffed and puffed, finally managing to climb up. She thought, if I knew where this assassin came from, wouldn't I know who's plotting against my family behind the scenes? Thinking this, she leaped up and followed him onto the wall. But as soon as she got up, she came face to face with the man in black. The air was suddenly silent for a moment. You haven't left yet? Could your damn movements be any slower? And you call yourself an assassin? Only then did the man in black react. He raised the dagger in his hand and said with a tremor, you know martial arts? But what Yi Qingwan was thinking now was whether to kill him or not. Such a clumsy spy probably wouldn't be of much use. At this moment, the two of them had their own thoughts. One was thinking, since her skills are so good, why didn't she fight back just now? The other was thinking, to kill or not to kill. Just then, a maid walked over with tea and called out to Yi Qingwan, Miss, why did you climb up on the wall? It's dangerous. Come down quickly. At this, Yi Qingwan had a sudden idea. I got a plan. He was the invincible #1 lady killer in the world. He thought his plan was flawless, but little did he know, the clown was actually himself. Yi Qingwan was in a standoff with the man in black on the wall, thinking about how to bluff her way through the fact that she knew martial arts. Just then, the maid came over with tea. She suddenly had an idea that, oh no, my ladder fell over. Quick, help me set it back up. She instantly switched to a tearful act that I'm so scared. Only then did the man in black look relieved, as if he understood. He turned and flew away. At the same time, Yi Qingwan also breathed a sigh of relief that I almost had to kill someone. How merciful of me. After returning to her room, she couldn't help but complain again. That assassin is so dumb. He used lightness skill to get on the wall and fell off twice. Even after all that, he insisted on taking me hostage. A total pet. Haha. Little did she know, the man in black outside the wall was listening to all of this. He angrily tore off his mask, revealing the handsome face underneath. So the woman he had just taken hostage was Yi Qingwan, the one he was paid to get close to. Not only did she recognize him at a glance, she even pretended to be taken hostage by him. He angrily punched the wall. He had been played for a fool by this woman and didn't even know it. I, Zhongyan Hong Hong, have roamed the martial world for over a decade, hailed as the #1 lady killer in the world. Today, I was actually played by a woman, and I even threatened her just now. Turns out she was just laughing at me. The more he thought about it, the more embarrassed he became. My lifelong reputation ruined in a day. It's so embarrassing I could dig a 3-bedroom apartment with my toes. Seeing this, the Grand Tutor couldn't help but laugh out loud again. Lately, he's been laughing for no reason. I'm starting to think he's gone crazy. Attendant, do you know of Zhong Yuan Hong Hong? The Grand Tutor asked casually. I do. He's a famous lady killer. Any girl he sets his eyes on, none can escape. And he has a peculiar habit. He likes to snatch the bride on her wedding day, but he always sends her back to her family the next day. Many of the girls, after being sent back, can't forget him and even want to divorce their husbands and wait for him to come back and marry them. The attendant chattered on. Yes, to date, over 100 women have been harmed by him. The authorities have tried everything to catch him, but this person comes and goes without a trace and is still at large. The Grand Tutor said while sipping his tea. Then what are you laughing at, young master? The attendant asked, puzzled. The Grand Tutor tapped him on the head with his fan. Think about it. A lady killer like that, even the imperial court can't do anything about him. Today, he actually fell into Yi Qingwan's hands. Isn't that delightful? But speaking of which, what does Zhong Yuan Hong Hong, a man of the martial world, have to do with the Prime Minister's daughter? Why would he cause Yi Qingwan's family to be ruined? It's best to just wait and see. As for Xia Xuejian's matter, I need to prepare early. Once she enters Phoenix Mountain, my business with the pirates can no longer be hidden. I must clean it up as soon as possible. At the same time, the 9th Prince also marveled at how bold this Yi Qingwan was, even daring to mock a lady killer. Oh well, as long as she doesn't mock me, it's fine. Right now, the entire capital is pointing fingers at her, cursing her. A normal person would have probably hanged themselves by now, but she's acting as if nothing happened. I really have to admire a woman like her. Just how capable of a spy must she be to trick his family into ruin? I wonder if she'll still be as calm and composed as she is now when she hits rock bottom. If that day really comes, will she come and beg me? The 9th Prince didn't know that his heart was beginning to change. But at this moment, Yi Qingwan was leisurely practicing yoga and Tai Chi in her own backyard. Today, the female lead should start investigating Phoenix Mountain. Only when she takes action can the male lead go and save her. That's how they can deepen their feelings. In the original work, at this point, it should be the domineering prince and his runaway wife segment, full of love and affection, inseparable in life and death. As Yi Qingwan thought about it, she got lost in her role. As she was engrossed in her performance, the Grand Tutor had already been standing to the side, watching for a while. Yi Qingwan was instantly embarrassed. Grand Tutor, why are you here? I heard about what happened at the 9th Prince's mansion the other day. I was worried you might not be able to get over it, so I came to see you. Now it seems I was overthinking things. No, I'm very sad. Yi Qingwan's expression changed in a second. That my life is so bitter. Sobi, you don't want to alive anymore. The Grand Tutor couldn't help but want to hit her. You don't want to live? Were you committing suicide by hitting your head against a pillar just now? Yes. I hit my head so hard it's still dizzy. So, perhaps you should leave. I'll attend your class again after I've recovered. Seeing her performance, the Grand Tutor couldn't help but blurt out, I heard Xia Xuejian went to Phoenix Mountain. Yi Qingwan was stunned. You even heard about this? Who did you hear it from? The Grand Tutor continued, you don't need to know that. I'm telling you, she went to Phoenix Mountain to investigate the pirates. Yi Qingwan was even more surprised. He knows everything. Something's not right. The old grand tutor knows way too much. In the original work, he only went up the mountain to save Xia Xuejian after she was captured. Could it be that he's cheating too? She went to Phoenix Mountain. Such a good opportunity. Aren't you going to do something? The grand tutor saw her lost in thought and reminded her. Yi Qingwan felt as if her entire plan had been exposed. It's over now. But she also felt that this old fox was probably trying to fish for information. I just heard that she went to Phoenix Mountain too. I'm going to tip off the pirates right now. I'll make sure she never comes back. Saying this, Yi Qingwan started to run outside. But the grand tutor grabbed her and pulled her back in a rush. I'll go with you. Yi Qingwan sensed that things were bad. Is he going to accompany me to kill the female lead? That won't do. She directly shook him off. That I don't need you. Are you sure? I'm 100% sure. She thought. His character is supposed to be the female lead's #1 simp. At this time, he should be desperately trying to stop me. Why is the plot going in reverse? Yi Qingwan couldn't figure it out. Then the grand tutor changed his tune again. That I forgot to mention. The Prime Minister invited me today to test you on your studies. I was thinking of postponing it since you were in a bad mood, but now seems like a good time. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan's expression changed in a second. A wise man knows when to yield. She immediately linked her arm with his. Grand tutor, your student suddenly feels that for the matter of notifying the pirates, it would be best to have the grand tutor's help. Then let's go now. Isn't it too late now? It's almost noon. The sun is about to set. Yi Qingwan thought, trying to delay as long as possible. But the grand tutor gave her no chance. Then let's start the test now. Yi Qingwan could only surrender. But the grand tutor's real purpose was to use this opportunity of being with Yi Qingwan to eliminate all those who knew the truth. Not only could he stay updated on the plot's development at all times, but he could also clear his name of any connection to the pirates. Meanwhile, Xia Xuejian was standing at the entrance of the 9th Prince's mansion, waiting for his arrival. Today, she was going to Phoenix Mountain. For her sister, she had to go. If pirates were really hiding there, it would likely involve powers within the court. It would be inevitable that the 9th Prince would be implicated. She couldn't just watch the prince be harmed by these powers. Miss Xia, I hear you insist on seeing me. What is the matter? The 9th Prince walked up to her and said faintly, Thank you for your misplaced affection in the past, Your Highness. But since Your Highness is already engaged to the Prime Minister's daughter, it is clear we are not fated to be together. Although Xuejian comes from a humble background, I still have my dignity. The Xia family motto is to never be a concubine. The 9th Prince looked at her, completely baffled. What? He had never seen such a self-absorbed woman. Before going to Phoenix Mountain, Xia Xuejian had sought out the 9th Prince to say her goodbyes. She told the 9th Prince that she would not be a concubine. A concubine? The 9th Prince was bewildered, his brow furrowed. Miss Xia, you must have misunderstood. I'm not yet engaged. Even if I were to marry in the future, I would only have one princess consort. Where would this talk of a concubine come from? But Xia Xuejian believed that the 9th Prince was only saying this because he was wary of the Prime Minister's mansion and had no choice but to accept the situation. She continued, Your Highness, is Yi Qingwan making things difficult for you? Is she trying to use this matter to force Your Highness's hand? The 9th Prince's brow furrowed even deeper, clearly annoyed. This is a matter between me and Yi Qingwan. It's better if you don't get involved. Xia Xuejian was momentarily speechless. So it really was that woman, Yi Qingwan. Not only did she use dirty tricks to scheme against the prince, but now that the cat's out of the bag, she's acting with impunity just because she's the Prime Minister's legitimate daughter. How despicable. Your Highness, don't worry. I am willing to testify for you in this matter. I don't need you to. You should worry about yourself first. What the 9th Prince meant was, my business is none of your business. Save it. But what Xia Xuejian heard was that the 9th Prince was afraid she would be bullied by Yi Qingwan, afraid she would get caught up in this matter. All his previous harsh attitudes towards her were because he was worried about her safety. As Xia Xuejian thought about this, she was moved to tears. But the 9th Prince was thinking, why did she suddenly start crying? Is she sick or something? At this, Xia Xuejian bit her lip and said, Your Highness need not worry. If I let you submit to those scoundrels for my sake, that would be my crime. After I handle my personal affairs, I will certainly report this matter truthfully to the heavens. I refuse to believe there is no justice under the emperor's watch, that their Yi family can truly do whatever they want. The ninth prince was completely baffled. What's she talking about? How did this suddenly get twisted to involve Yi Qingwan? I can't seem to follow her train of thought. Did she take the wrong medicine? Don't act rashly. Don't worry, Your Highness. I know what I'm doing. Before the ninth prince could speak, she turned and left, her figure thin but resilient. The ninth prince's eyes narrowed into a line. He asked Yue, what is she trying to do? This subordinate does not know, Yue replied, scratching his head, but Miss Xia has always been cautious and humble in the mansion. For Your Highness's sake, she, the daughter of an unranked official, is willing to completely offend the current prime minister. Such a deeply devoted woman, Your Highness must not let her down. Even Yue was starting to speak up for Xia Xuejin. Could it be that because she's the female lead mentioned in those subtitles, everyone has to revolve around her? If it weren't for those strange subtitles, would I also be like Yue, thinking that everything Xia Xuejin does is out of deep affection and feel love and indulgence for such a woman? At this thought, the ninth prince felt a chill run down his spine. How terrifying. Thank you, subtitles. Thank you, Yi Qingwan. He then ordered Yue, find a few untraceable people. After Xia Xuejin leaves the city, tie her up and throw her to the bandits on Phoenix Mountain. At the same time, the Grand Tutor and Yi Qingwan were already on their way to Phoenix Mountain. Yi Qingwan, sitting on horseback, was extremely uncomfortable from the bumpy ride. She couldn't help but ask, Grand Tutor, why aren't we taking a carriage? The Grand Tutor's reply was that a carriage was too conspicuous. Besides bandits, Phoenix Mountain was only inhabited by farmers. No one rides in a carriage. Going in so ostentatiously would easily attract the attention of the bandits. But Yi Qingwan argued that farmers don't ride horses either, so they would still be recognized at a glance. So he was doing it on purpose, just to mess with her. The Grand Tutor did not deny it. Xia Xuejin went to see the ninth prince before leaving the city. The Grand Tutor suddenly said, how did you know? He waved the carrier pigeon message in his hand. Yi Qingwan's red lips curled up. Not bad. The Jinyui are truly the Jinyui. Global Bluetooth coverage. Messages delivered instantly. What is she looking for Brother Muyin for? Shameless. She's about to enter the mountains and still goes to flirt. It seems it was to say goodbye, and they poured their hearts out to each other for a long time. In the middle of this, Yi Qingwan was stunned. Great, you're Nangong Muyun. Truly the male lead. Awesome. Isn't this what a male lead is supposed to do? Why don't you two just get married on the spot? You seem to be very happy. No, I'm so angry I'm laughing out of rage. My joy has turned into sorrow. She was worried before that Nangong Miyun's feelings for Xia Xuejin hadn't developed that deeply, and that he might not come to save her. Now she doesn't have to worry at all. She just needs to sit back and wait for the plot to develop smoothly. You're not angry at all that they poured their hearts out to each other? The Grand Tutor continued to tease her. What pouring their hearts out? It must have been that shameless Xia Xuejin seducing him. She was happier than both of them, but she still had to put on a cynical act. Answering, she felt something was off about the old Grand Tutor. He wanted to know what she was thinking. The plot is progressing smoothly now. I should get away quickly. If I stay with this old fox any longer, my cover will be blown. If not now, when? No, I have to go back and find Xia Xuejin now. See how I'll deal with that bitch. She pulled on the reins and was about to turn back, but the Grand Tutor grabbed the reins. You probably can't deal with her right now. Someone is watching her. Yi Qingwan was stunned. Who is secretly protecting her? Then she glanced at the Grand Tutor. You old devil, are you the one protecting her? It must be you, old Grand Tutor. The knight in shining armor finally makes his move. Who else could it be? Yi Qingwan looked at the Grand Tutor with a sly smile. The Grand Tutor felt his hair stand on end under her gaze. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh my, both important male leads are starting to follow the plot. Things are getting good. It must be because I wore a red dudu today. I'll wear one every day from now on. The Grand Tutor saw her expression, as if she had taken the wrong medicine. His brows furrowed. What on earth did she think of, laughing so wildly? Should I tell her or not? That Xia Xuejin has already been kidnapped by bandits. She was halfway through her laugh when suddenly Yi Qingwan's expression changed. Grand Tutor, didn't you say no one takes carriages on Phoenix Mountain? Then what is that? Yi Qingwan asked, pointing to a distant carriage. Following the direction of her finger, he was completely petrified, looking at the woman who was tied up and had a cloth strip stuffed in her mouth. Oh no, it's Xia Xuejin. She got caught so quickly. Didn't you say someone was protecting her? Weren't you the one who came specifically to tip off the bandits? You don't look happy to see her captured. Besides, look closely. That carriage driver is well-dressed and has refined features. How does he look like a bandit? Bandits? What is this? Someone is intercepting the kidnapping? No way. In this scene, Xia Xuejian is supposed to be captured by bandits. If someone else captures her, the plot will be completely messed up. Thinking this, Yi Qingwan rushed towards the carriage. What are you doing? The Grand Tutor couldn't stop her from behind. Help! Someone's being kidnapped. Let her go. Yi Qingwan shouted nonstop. The driver saw the person rushing over and raised a knife in his hand. He said, "Brother, I was also entrusted by someone today. I must send this person in the carriage away. I'll kill gods if they block me, and slay Buddhas if they stand in my way." Then he slashed at her. Yi Qingwan dodged, jumped off her horse, and ran for her life. Just then, the Grand Tutor pulled her and spun around. The driver's attack missed. Seeing this, the driver also looked stunned. What's going on now? Why did another person pop up to snatch her? Has the plan changed? Thinking this, he turned and ran. Run. There are too many of you. I won't get entangled with you. At this moment, Yi Qingwan, held in the Grand Tutor's arms, suddenly blushed. There's no stupid, only stupider. After the kidnapper was driven away by the Grand Tutor, Yi Qingwan quickly ran to the carriage. She lifted the curtain and saw Xia Xuejian whimpering inside. She finally let out a breath she had been holding. It's good that you're alive. Could you be any more useless? You can't even do a simple thing like entering the mountains and getting yourself captured. What else can I expect from you? But anger is anger. At least she was rescued. Who did this? Did you offend someone? Yi Qingwan questioned. Can't you just be a good female lead? Offending people everywhere and unable to protect yourself. You almost ruined my grand plan. So troublesome. Annoying. I've never seen a villainess have to clean up the female lead's mess. If she wasn't forbidden from dying, Yi Qingwan would want to kill her right now. But when Xia Xuejian was rescued, the first thing she did was spit at her. Hey, stop shedding crocodile tears here. Who else could I have offended besides you? I was kidnapped right after leaving the city, just after seeing the 9th prince this morning. Who else could it be but you? Yi Qingwan was stunned. So you really think I kidnapped you? Can you use your brain? If I kidnapped you, why would I save you? But on second thought, isn't this a chance to gain her hatred? It's a free delivery of hate points. It would be a waste not to take it. So she reached out and gave her a loud slap. Right? It was me who kidnapped you. Kill me if you have the guts. Xia Xuejian gritted her teeth in anger. Don't push it too far. Do you really think I don't dare? Do you dare? A scholar's daughter with no official rank. And you think you're a princess? I know exactly what you are. Stop acting so high and mighty in front of me. Didn't you just set your sights on Brother Muyun's power, hoping to cling to him and soar to new heights? Why don't you take a look in the mirror? You're not worthy. Yi Qingwan, don't be so smug. The entire capital knows about your disgusting deeds towards the 9th prince. The 9th prince and I have an agreement. When I return this time, I will expose you before his majesty. Oh, so you've already conspired together. Truly the male and female leads. Scheming and smart enough. I like it, but she's still a little worried. With the intelligence Xia Xuejian is displaying now, could she really make it down from Phoenix Mountain alive? She's very concerned. If she really attracts the bandits, no one will be able to escape. I don't believe it. I'm going down the mountain to ask him now. Saying this, she quickly tried to slip away. Of the 36 stratagems, fleeing is the best. But when she turned back to find her horse, she was dumbfounded. Where's the horse? The Grand Tutor also didn't expect the bandits of Phoenix Mountain to be so rampant as to lead their horses away in broad daylight. The bandits are probably gathering more men. Let's go. The Grand Tutor grabbed her wrist and ran. A moment later, when they ran into the woods, Yi Qingwan felt that hiding like this was not a solution. There were at least a dozen bandits outside. If they let them keep searching, they would soon find their hiding place. The Grand Tutor said he would lure them away and told Yi Qingwan to find a place to hide. But Yi Qingwan was very worried about him going alone. What if he dies? My whole act will be over. Don't worry. The Grand Tutor gave her a mysterious smile. Then he quickly ran in the opposite direction, leaving Yi Qingwan feeling utterly exasperated. Lu Xing shouldn't die, right? He's the second male lead, after all. Later on, he has several scenes leading troops into battle to quell rebellions. He should have some martial arts skills. I'll trust him this once. Thinking this, Yi Qingwan leaned against a tree trunk, leisurely waiting for the old Grand Tutor to return. Just then, a hand poked her in the back, startling her. She turned her head and saw it was Xia Xuejian. Quick, follow me. Why are you here? Didn't they help you? Xia Xuejin sneered. I knew you were the one who arranged for people to protect me. Now I've attracted the real bandits. You're scared now, aren't you? Luckily, I met Xiaoma. Otherwise, I would have been captured by the bandits, just as you wished. Xiaoma? Was this part in the original novel? A child emerged from behind a tree. Seeing this scene, Yi Qingwan couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. Truly the female lead. From 99 to toddlers who just learned to walk, everyone is captivated by your halo. But according to the script's setting, Xia Xuejin is supposed to be kidnapped by bandits. If I go with her, won't I be dragged down with her? At this moment, Xia Xuejin suddenly said, I know we've always been enemies, but now is not the time to settle personal grudges. Let's get down the mountain first. Without waiting for Yi Qingwan's reply, she grabbed her and ran. Yi Qingwan was going a little crazy. You're so magnanimous. Truly a great female lead, but I really don't want to go with you. Let go of me. After walking in circles for an hour, they actually ended up back at the tea shed at the edge of the forest. Does that Xiaoma really know the way down the mountain? She patted the little boy's shoulder. Little friend, you're a great guide. Don't guide again next time. But the little boy told her not to worry. We'll definitely find the way down the mountain before dawn. I'll go scout the path again. He doesn't know it just got dark. Is this guy really reliable? The two had just sat down to rest when they heard someone shouting. Someone's sneaking over there. It's probably those two wenches. A look revealed that the group of bandits had found them. But Xia Xuejin started to worry. That child from just now can't fall into their hands. Keep your voice down. Don't attract the bandits. Yi Qingwan said and turned to leave. Let's go quickly before the bandits spot us. We can't just leave. Xiaoma is still over there. Xia Xuejin said, grabbing her. Yi Qingwan grew anxious. I didn't tell you to go. I said I'm going. If you're not going, don't drag me to my death with you, okay? No, I will absolutely not abandon Xiaoma. Are you crazy? He won't necessarily be caught. If you go out now, you'll expose both yourself and him. Yi Qingwan held her back and tried to persuade her, but she just had an I'm not listening expression. She struggled hard to break free from Yi Qingwan's hand and rushed out without hesitation. Yi Qingwan watched her resolute back, the corner of her mouth twitching. Is there a language barrier between us? Or do you not understand human speech? Does she think she's particularly loyal, righteous, kind, and noble? The protagonists in other novels are all overpowered. Why is the protagonist of our novel as brain-dead as a pig? She even shouted as she ran, Xiaoma, run. There are bandits. Come at me. Don't grab the child. Equally speechless was the grand tutor who had just returned. This woman is so stupid. Is this world really going to revolve around such a foolish woman? The grand tutor seriously considered it. Maybe I should just get rid of her. I can't stand this idiot anymore. Unsurprisingly, she was captured the moment she shouted. This is toxic. Yi Qingwan thought again. Isn't this a perfect echo of the plot where the female lead is kidnapped by bandits on Phoenix Mountain? What a pleasant surprise. This idiot's seemingly maverick behavior has actually put the plot back on track. Fantastic. Let's go. Down the mountain. We're not saving her. Save her? How can the two of us save her? It's better to go down the mountain and report it to the officials. The grand tutor thought it made sense and readily agreed. Then, the two of them happily headed down the mountain together, not forgetting to complain along the way. This old grand tutor is simply not human. Watching the female lead get captured and not saving her. As expected, if men were reliable, pigs would climb trees. Hiyu, can't you learn from the ninth prince? Build a better relationship with a female lead. He already had a rendezvous this morning. They even agreed that after the female lead gets down from Phoenix Mountain, she'll expose me. They're already plotting to get rid of me so quickly. It seems they've already pledged their lives to each other and think I'm in the way. Maybe they've even had a secret love child. The male lead is truly the male lead. This speed, this efficiency, top-notch. At this moment, the grand tutor's face was dark. I'm not reliable. Weren't you the one who told me to leave, to go down the mountain and report to the officials? But for the old grand tutor to leave and still come back to find me, he has some conscience after all. It would be even better if he offered to carry me now. I'm so tired. At this moment, the grand tutor walked forward. You're tired. I'll carry you. Yi Qingwan was shocked. What? Want a romance? The kind that gets your entire clan annihilated. Yi Qingwan was just complaining about how tired she was, and how it would be great if the old grand tutor offered to carry her. The grand tutor paused, walked forward, and said, You're tired. I'll carry you. Yi Qingwan was shocked. She quickly covered her mouth. Did she just say that out loud? Did she just speak her complaint aloud? She turned and asked the Grand Tutor, "What did you hear?" The old Grand Tutor had a placid expression. "Nothing. I just thought you must be tired after walking all day." "Oh, is that so?" Yi Qingwan finally relaxed a little, but she really was quite tired. So she didn't stand on ceremony and jumped directly onto his back. Wow, his muscles are so firm. I wonder if he has an 8-pack. Yi Qingwan started complaining in her head again. Just then, the Grand Tutor suddenly grabbed her hand, pulled it, and placed it directly on his abdomen. "Feel it." Yi Qingwan was stunned. She instantly jumped off his back. She leaped 3 meters away. Damn, does he have some kind of mind-reading ability? How does he know what I'm thinking? But the Grand Tutor looked at her innocently. What's wrong? Yi Qingwan gulped. This is bad. His character is straying further and further from the original novel. His concern for me is a bit excessive. Could he have fallen for me? Yi Qingwan thought, terrified by the idea. At the same time, the Ninth Prince saw the constantly updating subtitles. He was so angry, he smashed another teacup on the floor. Yi Qingwan, that bastard. What nonsense is she spouting out there? When did this prince have a rendezvous with Xia Xuejin and a secret love child? A rendezvous in the morning and a secret love child by night? Does she have a brain? Isn't this just blatant lying? Slander. This is blatant slander. Your Highness, this is the 6th teacup you've smashed today. If you smash another, you'll have to drink with your hands. Yue didn't know why his master was like a powder keg, exploding at the slightest provocation. The Ninth Prince shot him a glare and sent him out to get another cup of tea. Then he called in a guard. Didn't I tell you to kidnap Xia Xuejin and send her to Phoenix Mountain? What's the situation now? Your Highness, we did kidnap her and send her to Phoenix Mountain, but there was an unexpected incident. First, at the foot of the mountain, we encountered someone suspected to be the Grand Tutor's subordinate who snatched her away. His people also seemed to want to deliver Miss Xia to the bandits, so we followed them. Who would have thought that we would run into Miss Yi on the mountainside? It's not strange to run into Yi Qingwan, but what grudge does Lu Shang have with Xia Xuejin? The Ninth Prince fumed at the thought, but from the looks of it, Yi Qingwan was indeed with Lu Shang, traveling with a man in broad daylight. How improper. And talking about abs. Shameless. He continued to ask, did Yi Qingwan say anything? The guard thought for a moment. Yes. It seems Miss Xia misunderstood and thought Miss Yi had sent someone to kidnap her. Miss Yi not only didn't refute it, but admitted to it. This way, we are completely in the clear. The Ninth Prince was about to die of anger. What malice? This prince kidnapped her precisely to let Xia Xuejin know that this prince despises her by personally delivering her to the bandits. But Yi Qingwan took the credit. Also, Miss Xia personally told Miss Yi that you had an agreement with her, that once she came down from Phoenix Mountain, she would expose the Yi family with you. What nonsense! This prince never intended for her to leave Phoenix Mountain alive. You send someone to secretly go up the mountain and spread a message to the bandits. This prince is heartbroken to learn that Xia Xuejin has been kidnapped and is determined to slaughter all the bandits on Phoenix Mountain and also exterminate their 9 generations of relatives. I don't believe it. Even with this, the bandits won't kill her to vent their anger. Meanwhile, Yi Qingwan and the Grand Tutor went down the mountain and reported the case. But the Grand Tutor insisted on dragging her back up the mountain with him. She had no part in this scene at all. They've been adding scenes for a whole day. Can't a person get some rest? What a sin. Everything was ready, just waiting for the male lead to arrive and save the female lead at the edge of the cliff. Could he be trying to save the female lead before the male lead does? This is a rebellion. You're actually trying to counterattack from a second male lead to the main male lead. At this time, the Grand Tutor led the soldiers and broke through with unstoppable force. Yi Qingwan watched the scene. This can't go on. If the second male lead saves the female lead first, the plot will be a mess. I have to think of a way to cut down his screen time. Thinking this, she secretly ran towards the bandit chief's bridal chamber. But at this moment, there wasn't even a ghost of shadow of Nangong Muyun. Could he have gotten lost? A moment later, she finally found the bandit chief's room. Luckily, most of the bandits in the stronghold had gone out to fight. Since the male lead isn't coming to the rescue, I'll have to do it myself. She kicked the door in. Unsurprisingly, Xia Xuejin was being pinned down by a bandit who was groping her. Good. Her clothes are still on. The plot can still be salvaged. Yi Qingwan grabbed a weapon and charged forward. You plot wrecker. Eat my broom. But before she could get close, the bandit was kicked away by Xia Xuejin. His back of the head happened to hit the ground, and he died on the spot. He could hit it from such a skewed angle. The female lead's halo must have been directly applied to him. The commotion was probably too loud. Nearby bandits were shouting outside the door. Yi Qingwan couldn't be bothered with anything else. She went over and grabbed her hand to run. But Xia Xuejin wanted to ask something. Don't ask anything first. Just run with me. Keep running until we meet Nangong Muyun. At this moment, Xia Xuejin looked at her, completely bewildered. Male lead, if you don't come soon, your wife is going to be stolen away by me. After the bandit chief was taken down by Xia Xuejin's kick, it alerted the people outside. At this time, Yi Qingwan couldn't be bothered with anything else. She ran over, grabbed her hand, and ran. The two were chased all the way to the back of the mountain, their path blocked by a cliff. Weren't we supposed to be running? Why did you pull me to the edge of cliff? To jump off? Xia Xuejin said irritably. This is the place where the male and female leads pledge their lives to each other. But where's the male lead? Maybe I can stall for a while until the male lead arrives. Watching Yi Qingwan looking around, Xia Xuejin spoke again. I see you're up to no good. On the surface, you saved me from the bandits' den, but in reality, you want to push me off the cliff to destroy the evidence. I've seen through you, haven't I? Xia Xuejin flung Yi Qingwan's hand away. Keep your voice down, my dear lady. Don't attract all the bandits. Yi Qingwan whispered nervously, but Xia Xuejin turned to leave, ignoring her. Yi Qingwan quickly chased after her. Wait a minute, just a little longer. I'm begging you, okay? I have to stall until the male lead arrives. Otherwise, all previous efforts will be wasted. But just as she was about to grab her hand, Xia Xuejin slapped it away. Don't touch me. Just then, Xia Xuejin missed her step. All that was heard was a scream. She fell straight down. Yi Qingwan quickly grabbed her. Big sister, hold on. You can't fall now. You have to fall right under the male lead's nose. He hasn't played the hero saving the damsel yet. Don't be afraid, I've got you. Pull yourself up. But Xia Xuejin asked in surprise, why are you saving me? Do you think I want to save you? Xia Xuejin was hanging precariously on the edge of the cliff. Yi Qingwan struggled to hold onto her. This scene is very familiar. Hero saving the damsel? Usually, that hero is the male lead. Today, it's me, a villainess, taking on the role. Male lead, if you don't come soon, the female lead is going to be stolen away by me. At this moment, a voice was heard. Yi Qingwan was startled. Her hand slipped, and both of them fell down. Damn it, I'll have to restart again. The screams came to an abrupt halt. At this moment, she felt both her hands being grabbed. Looking up, she saw Nangong Muyun and the Grand Tutor holding her, one on the left and one on the right. The moment she saw Nangong Muyun, Yi Qingwan was so moved, she almost cried. You're finally here. If you hadn't come, I wouldn't have been able to protect your wife. After being pulled up by them, she looked back and realized someone was missing. Where's his wife? Where's Xia Xuejin? It's over. Barbecued. Yi Qingwan sat on the ground and started crying loudly. Xia Xuejin is dead. I don't want to live anymore. I'm over here. At this moment, Xia Xuejin's furious voice came from the side. Looking back, she saw her struggling to hold on to the vines on the cliff's edge. That was how she barely kept herself from falling. She was also angrily yelling at Yi Qingwan. Stop being so fake here. You just want to kill me. Why did you save me? Save the female lead. It's over. Barbecued. The show has just started and the female lead is dead. It's completely ruined. I'm over here. At this moment, Xia Xuejin's furious voice came from the side. She was struggling to hold onto the vines on the cliff's edge. That was how she barely kept herself from falling. What the hell? Yi Qingwan wanted to curse. At a time like this, shouldn't you be saving the female lead? What are you standing there for? Pull her up. At this moment, Xia Xuejin's face was dark, but she still politely bowed to the Ninth Prince. Thank you, Your Highness, for saving my life. The Ninth Prince replied with a blank expression, no need. It was his prince who ordered you to be tied up and brought to the mountain. It's just that someone else intercepted you halfway. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan was shocked. You kidnapped her? Are you crazy? Just as Yi Qingwan was about to hit someone, Xia Xuejin actually burst out laughing. The three of them looked at each other, all looking at her with confusion. What are you laughing at? Nangong Muyun asked her. At this moment, two blushes appeared on Xia Xuejin's cheeks. Your Highness's intentions were well-meaning. Shuejian understands everything. Your Highness was afraid that I would impulsively confront Yi Qingwan and that she would silence me by killing me. Hearing this, Nangong Muyun was exasperated. He had already made it so clear to her, yet she was still being sentimental. How could her imagination be so rich? Miss Ya, you're overthinking it. The one who wants you dead is this prince. It has nothing to do with Miss Yi. I saved you just now only because Miss Yi begged this prince. If you're unfortunate, this prince wouldn't mind throwing you down directly. After speaking, he called 2 guards forward. They flanked Xia Shuejian, one on each side, as if to throw her off a cliff. Seeing this scene, Yi Qingwan quickly stopped them. Hey, let's talk this out. What's the situation now? Is this tough love? In the original novel, the 9th prince has this kind of scheming and tsundere personality. He clearly loves her to death, but on the surface, he acts as if he has a grudge against her, not stopping until he has tormented her to death. The person was saved, but Xia Shuejian was ungrateful. She even pointed at her and sneered sarcastically. Stop shedding crocodile tears and feigning kindness. You act like a bodhisattva in front of the 9th prince, but in your heart, you've long wanted to cut me into 1,000 pieces. Yi Qingwan looked at her. She hadn't slept all night, yet she was still so full of energy. Truly the female lead. Oh dear, you found me out. Damn it. This young lady will kill you sooner or later. She went along with it and made a harsh threat. With a flick of her sleeve, not taking a single cloud with her. After speaking, she turned and left. Off work, off work. This job is nerve-wracking and doesn't even pay. A losing business. Sitting in the carriage heading down the mountain. She didn't forget to complain. Being the female lead is so miserable. You're either being kidnapped or beaten. After finally being rescued, you have to deal with a scheming and tsundere male lead who has a heart that loves you, but does things that could kill you. Want a romance? The kind that gets your entire clan annihilated. But thank heavens this scene is finally over, and the male lead has already started to show his tendency to abuse the female lead. Just then, a familiar figure slipped into her carriage. Yi Qingwan looked at him in surprise. Assassin, do you remember me? Zhong Yuan Hong Hong sat beside her with his arms crossed. The assassin who tried to climb the wall, but fell. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong. She was truly shocked. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong leaned in with a playful smile. Seeing me here today, are you surprised? Is it unexpected? Yi Qingwan thought, what is going on tonight? You're not supposed to appear here. Did you male leads all conspire to mess up my plot? She only remembered the original plot was that she saved him when he was being hunted as an assassin. Later, when she was being pelted with rotten eggs on the street because of the incident where she drugged the 9th prince, they met for the 2nd time. He stood up for her, and only then did she trust him and treat him as a friend. But you've appeared a bit too early. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong had imagined many scenarios for their reunion, but he never expected her to be so calm. She was actually complaining that he came too early. Could it be that my role isn't important? That she looks down on me? Damn it. This great flower thief has roamed the martial world for over a decade, and no woman has ever dared to ignore me like this. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong leaned forward, gently lifting her chin with his hand, and said, as the #1 flower thief in the world, Zhong Yuan Hong Hong, who has roamed the martial world for over a decade, no woman has ever dared to ignore him like this. He didn't believe there was a woman he couldn't conquer. So, he must conquer this woman. I know what you're thinking, but I advise you not to waste your time on me. My heart only has room for Brother Muyun. Yi Qingwan felt the atmosphere was a bit awkward and quickly brought out her devoted admirer persona for a spin. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong rolled his eyes at her. So dedicated, still acting at a time like this. If he hadn't seen her complaints, he might have really been moved by her devoted persona. You can take my carriage down the mountain, but don't have any improper thoughts. Otherwise, Brother Muyun will never let you go. Yi Qingwan said impatiently. From his expression, he probably believed her. I'm so exhausted today. It seems being a villain isn't easy either. I need to properly complain about this part of the plot. She pulled up the panel and started complaining. The mole is here again. It seems he's about to make his official appearance, although it's a bit rushed, but it doesn't affect the main plot. Let him be. The pleasant surprise of the day. The male lead is starting to reveal his exciting personality. In his heart, he loves the female lead to death, but he acts like he wants to torture her to death, kicking off the angsty romance drama. The male lead's personality is so damn messed up. Zhong Yu and Hong Hong. Next is your main stage. Do a good job collecting evidence. Strive to bring down the Prime Minister's mansion within 3 days. I'm counting on you. By the way, when is that young Master Liang going to die? After the Phoenix Mountain plot, he should be dead, right? Hurry up and die. If you don't die, the Prime Minister's mansion can't fall. At this moment, the carriage suddenly stopped. She poked her head out to look. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Good, good. Isn't the plot progressing now? She actually ran into young Master Liang, who was begging for a ride down the mountain. Zhong Yu and Hong Hong's jaw dropped. How could there be such a coincidence? Could it be that everything is happening exactly as the subtitles say? Young Master Liang will definitely die. At this moment, young Master Liang was about to explain how he got lost, but he was interrupted by Yi Qingwan. No need to explain the process. Just get in. All that talking is just a waste of time. I'm about to die of sleepiness. I don't have time to waste words on this person who is about to die. Whatever it is, it can wait until I wake up. But Zhong Yu and Hong Hong was imagining things all the way. How exactly is he going to die? Will he die now or later? Will it be a sudden accidental death, or the kind where blood spurts from his mouth and nose? Will it splash on me? But just then, a strange fragrance wafted in. Everyone passed out. After knocking them out, someone tiptoed into the carriage. The person accurately found young Master Liang and directly took out a knife and slit his throat. This person was Xia Xuejian. After slitting young Master Liang's throat, she slowly approached Yi Qingwan. She raised the dagger in her hand. Yi Qingwan, go to hell. On the way down the mountain, after Xia Xuejian knocked everyone out, she quickly found the unconscious young Master Liang. She directly took out a knife and slit his throat. After slitting his throat, she approached Yi Qingwan. Just as she was about to make a move, she was suddenly grabbed. Looking back, a familiar face appeared before her. Brother He, what are you doing? He had rushed over because he was afraid she was in danger after seeing the suddenly appearing subtitles in the air. But when he arrived, he stumbled upon the scene of her committing murder. Do you know what you're doing? Xia Xuejian broke free from He Yu's hand and looked at the person lying on the ground. I know. I've already investigated it. It was this man surnamed Liang who defiled my sister and framed her for having an affair. Before I went up the mountain, I found a way to lure him here as well. It is already merciful enough that he has lived until today. You said helplessly, you could have reported it to the officials. If reporting to the officials was useful, he would have been dead long ago. Who would defend a marquis's mansion for a scholar's daughter with no official rank? Xia Xuejian was somewhat indignant. Since the government can't give me justice, I'll take it myself. You've already killed him. What else do you want to do? You can't kill Miss Yi. You quickly stepped forward to stop her. Even you are helping her? You're stopping me for her sake too? Yi Qingwan is the only one who knows the entire plot development of the novel. She must be very important. If she dies, it might cause irreversible damage to the novel's world. I'm not. He wanted to explain, but the words wouldn't come out. Who would believe him if he talked about subtitles appearing out of thin air? I see. Don't worry. I didn't plan to kill her. I just wanted to put this dagger in her hand to make people think she killed the man, surnamed Liang. This way, not only can I clear my suspicion, but I can also bring down Yi Qingwan. And Yi Qingwan, hearing their conversation, wanted to jump up and become sworn sisters with her. She unconsciously gave her a thumbs up. Female lead, you finally wised up. Thank heavens. Did she just move? Is she awake? Did your knockout incense fail? Xia Xuejian pointed at Yi Qingwan and whispered to Hiyu. Oops, I was almost discovered. I'm not immune to knockout drugs. It's my fault for getting carried away. Yi Qingwan broke into a cold sweat. After watching for a while and seeing no reaction, Xia Xuejian finally relaxed. She's not awake. I was probably just too nervous. I'll set up the scene now, and then we'll leave immediately. Yi Qingwan was secretly delighted. Good, very good, excellent. Come and frame me. I'll definitely hold the dagger tightly for you. But Hiyu actually objected. Sister Xuejian, this is blatant framing. I thought you were an upright and kind person. How could you? This was making Yi Qingwan anxious to death. Just shut up, big brother. Does the female lead need you to boss her around? I'm the evil villainess. She's punishing evil and promoting good. You, a supporting male character, stop radiating your holier-than-thou attitude here. Xia Xuejian was clearly confused. Why can't I frame her? I've never done a single bad thing in my life. I just want to get justice for my sister, and that's considered wicked? Yi Qingwan has done all sorts of evil things. I'm just framing her once, and she becomes the innocent one. You're starting to feel sorry for her and pity her. He was a bit helpless. From the subtitles he had seen about Yi Ching-wan, it seemed she hadn't done anything truly wicked. On the contrary, she had been trying to set him up with a ninth prince. In comparison, he was the one biting the hand that feeds him, unable to recognize a kind heart. At this moment, Yi Ching-wan was on the verge of tears. Just get out of the way. Don't hinder the female lead. It's a rare moment of her being smart. Actually, if Yi Ching-wan really had ill intentions towards you, she could have easily killed you from the very beginning. You try to persuade her again. Yi Ching-wan holds the script. She's clearly a godlike figure looking down on the world. It would be easy for her to deal with anyone. She never intended to harm you. She has been letting you have your way. Very well. Now, even you are on her side. Has our friendship over the years really been fed to the dogs? I won't frame her today. I want all of you to see her vicious side. When that time comes, I will watch as she is deserted by everyone and her life becomes worse than death. Xia Shiwejian angrily threw down her last words and ran out. Yi Ching-wan watched her run off just like that. Why doesn't this person play by the rules? Don't go. Leave the dagger for me. I'm begging you. She thought Xia Shiwejian had finally wised up, but she just ran off like that, without even leaving the dagger. A ray of morning sunlight shone in, waking Yi Ching-wan from her sleep. She yawned and turned over, ready to go back to sleep. But what's this hard thing? It's hurting my back so much. Yi Ching-wan couldn't help but pat it a few more times. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong could no longer bear her groping, until his deep voice sounded. He slapped her hand away. Have you touched enough? It startled her, and she instantly jumped up. She actually saw a man. She instinctively clutched her collar. Who are you? You forgot who I am after one night's sleep? Zhong Yuan Hong Hong asked faintly. It's you. You're the assassin who fell off the wall. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong's face was contorted with anger. Can we not bring that up? Is there no end to it? I've cooperated with your act. I've been a human cushion. I've tolerated you taking liberties with me, but you cannot insult me. As the famous flower thief of the martial world, I will absolutely not admit that I can fall while climbing a wall. He roared in anger. I did not fall off the wall. Fine, you didn't. Why are you so defensive? You have no grace at all. Yi Ching-wan clearly didn't get his point. She didn't want to dwell on the matter. But according to the normal procedure, officials should be passing by to arrest me and throw me in jail by now. At this moment, she saw someone seemingly walking towards them from a distance. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. So she rushed out of the carriage and yelled, Murder! Help! This shout startled Zhong Yuan Hong Hong. He poked his head out and yelled, What are you doing? Are you crazy? But Yi Ching-wan clearly ignored him and continued to shout, Someone come quickly. Someone's dead. Just then, two people quickly approached the carriage. They soon arrived in front of her. Don't move. The one in the carriage, get out immediately. Who is the deceased? Where's the body? Yi Ching-wan answered meekly. The deceased is the young master of the Liang family who went up the mountain last night. The body was originally in the carriage, but now, before she could finish, Zhong Yuan Hong Hong suddenly burst out, kicking the nearby officer away. Then he grabbed Yi Ching-wan and ran. Don't be afraid. There are only two of them. I'll fly you away. Yi Ching-wan was speechless. I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. But he clearly couldn't read the look in Yi Ching-wan's eyes and continued to ramble on. My lightness skill is unmatched. I can tread on snow without leaving a trace. In the martial world, Before he could finish his sentence, suddenly, a huge force grabbed his arm. It pulled him down hard. He fell to the ground. Then a blade was held to his neck, preventing him from moving. Yi Ching-wan watched him fall flat on his face and calmly walked to the side with an I didn't see anything expression. Meanwhile, Zhong Yuan Hong Hong was still in a daze. Suddenly, he saw the updated subtitles again. I told you all not to meddle in the female lead's affairs. See? Serves you right for falling. By the way, with such a weak flower thief, are you sure your kidneys can keep up? Whatever. His role right now is just to make up the numbers anyway. I should prepare to go to jail. Hearing the complaint, Zhong Yuan Hong Hong was so angry he pounced. I'll bite you to death. My kidneys are fine. Yi Ching-wan was scared and grabbed the officer's arm, shouting, Hold him tight. Don't let him run away. He's also a suspect in the murder. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong could never have imagined that after roaming the martial world for over a decade, the government could never catch him. But after meeting Yi Ching-wan, he fell into her hands time and time again. Yet Yi Ching-wan was still complaining nonstop. Now, as long as she goes to jail, the female lead can conspire with the male lead against the Prime Minister's mansion. Then they can pin the piracy incident on the Prime Minister's mansion as well. Male lead, look For your sake, the female lead has risked her life to get information and painstakingly killed young Master Liang to frame me, all to buy you time to bring down the Prime Minister's mansion. Just accept such a good girl. If the Prime Minister's mansion hurts you one bit, I'll slaughter the entire Prime Minister's mansion. If the world harms you one bit, I'll kill everyone in the world. How domineering, how romantic. After she finished complaining, the check-in reward arrived. But now the broken system told her that because her level was not high enough, it could not be stacked. This reward is void. Wealth, 300 taels of gold. Fool, void. Is it because I didn't redeem my last 2 skill points? Damn it, you can't stack them and their levels? Why didn't you say so earlier? Aren't you just harvesting leeks? Fattening them up before slaughtering them. Yi Qingwan was already driven to a fury by the dog system, scaring the people next to her into staring at her blankly. At this moment, a blade was already pressed against her neck. You are not unrelated to this case. Take her away too. Only then did Yi Qingwan remember that she hadn't finished her act. So this system has levels. Then my beauty value has probably reached its limit. It will only appear again after I break through a level. But how do I break through a level? Forget it, I'll act first. She instantly got into character. She turned and pointed at the officer, scolding, "Insolence! Don't touch me. Do you know who I am? Believe it or not, I'll have your heads roll. Get Lu Sheng over here. My father is the Prime Minister. Who dares to touch me? Fierce on the outside, but timid on the inside." But the officer still forcibly took her away. As she was being led away, she was still shouting, "My father is the Prime Minister. I am the Prime Minister's daughter, Yi Qingwan," making it known to everyone. The legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister was arrested by the Jinyui. Especially her line, "My father is the Prime Minister," instantly became famous throughout the capital. That's the Miss Yi who failed to drug the 9th prince, and instead became the laughingstock of the entire capital. The people on the side began to gossip. She's quite pretty, but her brain doesn't work well, and she has a bad temper. The Prime Minister is so wise. How did he raise such a daughter who is more of a hindrance than a help? His Majesty was already furious about the drugging incident last time. Now there's a murder, and the deceased is the son of Marquis Liang Yuan. The Prime Minister is going to be in deep trouble because of her this time. Seeing such a large group of paid commoners, she felt an indescribable excitement. Although the time and place of young Master Liang's death were different from the original novel, the result was the same. Young Master Liang was indeed dead, and I was indeed implicated. All roads lead to Rome. Everything matches up. That's enough. I'm so awesome. As for this one next to me, you can squat in jail with me for a few days. Who told you to have such an important role? Yi Qingwan glanced at Zhong Yuan Hong Hong out of the corner of her eye. Soon, the two were thrown into a large prison cell. Yi Qingwan found a clean spot in the prison and sat down. She even got a chicken leg and a pot of wine from the jailer. She sighed, "I've been running around these past few days. It's exhausted me. I can finally rest for a while." Zhong Yuan Hong Hong was locked in the cell opposite. Seeing her so leisurely and content, his face darkened. He pointed at her and said angrily, "Are you here to serve a sentence or to enjoy life? We're in the Ministry of Justice's prison. Being hungry is a day. Being full is also a day. Why not be a full ghost?" Yi Qingwan said and started devouring the chicken leg. But Zhong Yuan Hong Hong suppressed his anger. "I, the great flower thief famous in the martial world, didn't even go to jail for sneaking into the palace to kiss a princess. Today, I was actually thrown in here by this woman. I'm so pissed off. I'm going to kill you. I must kill you." When the 9th prince heard that Yi Qingwan had been thrown into prison, he was dumbfounded. Such an absurd plot actually happened. She was really thrown into prison, as the subtitles said. Logically, even if she was related to a murder case, the government should have been lenient considering the Prime Minister's face. Could it be that the so-called female lead's halo is that ridiculously powerful? Now that she's in prison, will she smoothly turn to the dark side according to the plot? No, this prince cannot let the plot develop as written. Otherwise, how can I watch Yi Qingwan go crazy? This prince's good show is about to begin. At this moment, the 9th prince's brows were tightly furrowed, and the corners of his mouth were slightly raised. Yi Qingwan was thrown into prison. He was also in disbelief. How is that possible? Last night, he clearly moved young Master Liang's body from the carriage. He even let the carriage slowly move forward. The dagger was also thrown far away. Why could Yi Qingwan still be arrested as a murderer? Could it be that the setting of the original novel cannot be changed by human effort? But she clearly wasn't the one who killed him. Isn't she being forced to take the blame? "Brother He, why do you look so restless?" At this moment, Xia Xuejian interrupted his tangled thoughts. He felt a little guilty and hesitant. Should he go and testify for Yi Qingwan? But that would be disadvantageous for Sister Xuejin. Xia Xuejin naturally also knew that Yi Qingwan had been arrested as a murderer. She was a little smug. You don't have to worry. In this situation, Yi Qingwan can only be considered unlucky. Even with so many people helping and protecting her, she still ended up in prison. She can only blame herself for being one step behind. He Yu looked at this Xia Xuejin and felt she was becoming more and more unfamiliar. Since meeting Yi Qingwan, she seems to no longer be the Xuejin I used to know. Brother He, you should go back first. I still have some things to discuss with my maid. He said no more. He knew that once she made a decision, she would not change it. He only hoped that after she avenged her sister, she would not do anything else that was wicked. At this moment, the maid leaned close to Xia Xuejin's ear and told her that she had already sent out the message as instructed. A smile appeared on her lips. Yi Qingwan, just you watch. From now on, you will never have a good day again. Miss, are we really going to go against the Prime Minister's mansion? Are you scared? The maid shook her head, very confused. It's not that. I just feel that we don't need to provoke him. Didn't you already find out that the second Mrs. Matter has nothing to do with the Prime Minister's mansion? I'm dealing with the Prime Minister's mansion, not because of my sister. The maid naturally knew who she was doing it for. She asked awkwardly, Miss, do you really like the Ninth Prince that much? When Xia Xuejin thought of the Ninth Prince, a happy smile appeared on her face. The prince and I are kindred spirits, treading on thin ice in the palace. Am I not also treading carefully in my own residence? I feel sorry for him and want to help him. So when he was drugged by Yi Qingwan, but could only swallow his anger, I swore that I would never let that filthy woman, Yi Qingwan, hurt him again. Xia Xuejin grew more and more excited. But, my lady, what if the Ninth Prince was willing? The maidservant asked cautiously. Impossible. You didn't see how helpless he was when he was drugged, and that powerlessness when he was threatened to marry Yi Qingwan. So pitiful. But your servant heard people on the street say that Yi Qingwan will be released today. The maidservant couldn't help but say what she knew. Instantly, Xia Xuejin was incredibly surprised. Release her? She killed someone. Who would dare release her? That bunch of corrupt, colluding worms. They must have been threatened a little by Yi Qingwan and released her because they fear the Prime Minister's power. No, I have to go and see. Just as she was about to leave, she was stopped by her maidservant that "My lady, don't be rash." It was the Ninth Prince who ordered her release. Hearing this, Xia Xuejin froze, looking at her maidservant in disbelief. The Ninth Prince? Why would he release Yi Qingwan? Doesn't he know that everything I've done was for him? I had it all planned out. First, frame Yi Qingwan for murder. Not only would it tarnish the Prime Minister's family name, but it would also make the Prime Minister focus solely on saving his daughter, with no time for other matters. The Ninth Prince would then have enough time to gather evidence and bring down the Prime Minister's family. That way, not only would he not have to marry Yi Qingwan, but he also wouldn't be coerced by the Prime Minister's family. He could also achieve great merit and make a good impression on the Emperor. But he actually ordered Yi Qingwan's release himself. Could it be that the Prime Minister coerced him? That must be it. The Prime Minister threatened him. If he didn't step forward to release Yi Qingwan, he would take action against him. The more Xia Xuejin thought about it, the more furious she became. How outrageous. That damned woman, Yi Qingwan. She'll stop at nothing to achieve her goals. She's utterly shameless. Yi Qingwan, who was taking a big bite of a chicken leg, let out a huge sneeze from an itchy nose. Could someone be cursing me? Missy, you can go. At that moment, an officer opened the cell door. Yi Qingwan was stunned and asked, Officer, are you mistaken? I'm a murderer. You can't release me. The officer, however, thought she was planning to settle scores later and quickly put on a smiling face. Miss Yi, you are a person of great magnanimity. Don't lower yourself to our level. We are just following orders. Yi Qingwan was even more speechless. Were they really going to let her out? How do you do your job? Can you just release a murderer whenever you want? Do you have any professional ethics? I'm not leaving. Don't drag me. Who told you to release me? My father or the Grand Tutor? Let me find out who dared to ruin my plans, and I'll poison them when I get out. It was the Ninth Prince. Yi Qingwan could hardly believe her ears. That idiot Ninth Prince. It's him again, damn it. Never doing anything productive, just derailing things all day long. Not long after Yi Qingwan was locked in the prison, the young officer came to tell her to go home quickly. This sent Yi Qingwan into a rage. Which short-sighted person wants to release me? If I find out who ruined my plans, I'll poison them when I get out. It was the ninth prince. The young officer said softly. Are you sure it was the ninth prince? Yi Qingwan could hardly believe her ears. It's him again, damn it. Why is it always him? That idiot ninth prince. Not doing any proper work all day, just derailing things. How did the original author create a male protagonist that makes people want to beat him to death every single day? Yi Qingwan's only thought right now was that she could not get out. If she left now, how could the female protagonist frame her? How could she gather evidence to bring down her own family? The thought that in the entire story, only the female protagonist was seriously working on her career made Yi Qingwan's teeth itch with anger. At this time, she absolutely could not cause trouble for her. She was determined not to leave, that I'm not leaving. You threw me in here without distinguishing right from wrong, making it a public spectacle. Now you're just letting me go? What will people think of me? Miss Yi, please spare me. We're also just trying to make a living. The officer looked at the unreasonable and unruly Yi Qingwan and could only beg in a low voice. You can arrest me just to make a living? Then if you want a reward one day, does that mean you dare to arrest my father too? She said with a triumphant and coquettish tone. This scared the officer, who repeatedly bowed his hands, and oh no. Then what will it take for you to leave? Catch the real killer, clear my name, and then I'll leave. The officer really wanted to curse out loud. This is such a big case, and we don't have any leads right now. How can it be solved so easily? My lady, I'm begging you. Be the bigger person and just leave. But no matter what he said or how he coaxed her, Yi Qingwan played stubborn and refused to leave. That I won't. Unless you can find someone I'm afraid of to handle me. Just then, the Grand Tutor came up behind Yi Qingwan. He flicked her on the back of her head. Get up. Yi Qingwan turned her head away. Without a second word, the Grand Tutor silently lifted her by the collar, carrying her out like a little chick. They arrested me. They made me the laughingstock of the entire capital. I can't face anyone. The Grand Tutor's face was dark. All right, stop acting. How much of an eyesore are you? Do me a favor. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan was stunned. Then you do me a favor and lock me back up. The ninth prince is still outside, the Grand Tutor said lightly, his lips curving upwards. Yi Qingwan was speechless. This NAMA-MANGAI, is he trying to pull some new trick again? Keeping such a troublesome male lead around is really a hassle. Maybe I should just get rid of him. Yi Qingwan was truly on the verge of tears. The male lead derails the plot with unerring accuracy. The entire plot is being held up by her alone. Yi Qingwan expressed, "We are tired. You may all withdraw." But the moment she saw the ninth prince, she immediately switched to sycophant mode. She ran over in a small trot, saying cheerfully, "Brother Muyun, I knew that even if the whole world abandoned me, you wouldn't ignore me." The Grand Tutor, standing aside, frowned. Where does she get all these cheesy lines? Her literary skills are quite high. The ninth prince, however, was very calm, and Wai family has always been on good terms with the prime minister. It was inconvenient for the prime minister to intervene when you got into trouble, so I came. Don't overthink it. Okay, whatever Brother Muyun says is right. You must be so tired coming to get me this late. Let me treat you to some medicine, a meal, okay? Please. Yi Qingwan begged humbly, perfectly portraying the image of a female sycophant. Everything is ready. All that's missing is the east wind. Come on, male lead. Reject me harshly. I'm ready. Who knew the ninth prince wouldn't give her the chance? I have already had my servants prepare dinner. You will return to my residence with me. Yi Qingwan was stunned at awe. What did you just say? Yi Qingwan had planned to invite the ninth prince to dinner and be rejected. But who knew the ninth prince wouldn't play by the rules, and instead invited Yi Qingwan to his residence to eat together. Yi Qingwan thought she had misheard. Brother Muyun, what did you just say? The ninth prince looked at her deeply and took her hand. I said, I will accompany you for dinner. Is there a problem? Yi Qingwan's mouth opened and closed, then closed and opened again. She was stunned into silence. The ninth prince chuckled inwardly. I knew she was faking it. You want me to reject you? To help you build up your persona of someone who loves me, but can't have me? Not a chance. He lifted Yi Qingwan's chin. From now on, I will not let you succeed even once. Yi Qingwan's heart trembled. What's with this guy? How can you have dinner with me? You're supposed to despise me and reject me harshly. And what do you mean, not let you succeed? If you have dinner with me, haven't I succeeded? What on earth is going on? Where's your cold aloofness? You've derailed the plot again. Damn it. Yi Qingwan was frustrated, but now she could only bite the bullet and go along. Who told her to run her mouth? Sitting in the carriage, she was sandwiched between the Grand Tutor and the Ninth Prince, questioning her existence. Left and right guardians? Isn't this the kind of treatment the female protagonist gets? According to the plot, the Liang family should soon find the real culprit, the female protagonist, and then the two sides will engage in a life-or-death battle. Yi Qingwan had no interest in the brawl between the female protagonist and the Liang family. It wasn't her scene anyway. Even if they burned down the imperial palace, it had nothing to do with her. But can these two guys move a little further away? Why are they sticking to me like two pieces of dogskin plaster? In the original story, there was no scene of her having dinner with the Ninth Prince. Isn't this just forced over time? And I have to keep up the sycophant persona. How unlucky. Suddenly, Yi Qingwan placed her hand on the Ninth Prince's shoulder. Brother Muyun, you must be tired from standing at the prison gate for so long. Let me rub your shoulders for you. The Ninth Prince glanced at her and didn't refuse. He even said, unprecedentedly, all right. Yi Qingwan's jaw dropped. She started, are your legs sore? I'll rub them for you too. But the Ninth Prince actually said, thank you. The cold and aloof Ninth Prince said, thank you, to his female sycophant. Thank your grandma's leg. Are you crazy? The Grand Tutor beside them secretly thought to himself, let's see what other tricks you have up your sleeve. This can't go on. She has to think of a way. She must guide this hopeless male lead, who is like mud that can't be plastered on a wall, back to the right path. Otherwise, the next episode will be the series finale. Yi Qingwan thought for a moment, and the hand kneading his thigh suddenly tightened, pinching him hard. While pinching, she praised through gritted teeth, wow, Brother Muyun, your legs are so long and straight. The Ninth Prince, in pain, instinctively retracted his leg. Seeing this, Yi Qingwan quickly turned and offered her own shoulder. At this point, the Ninth Prince's face was contorted in pain. Yi Qingwan was seen saying timidly, so, Brother Muyun still can't accept me? Sobi, I'm sausage. Internally, she was thinking, come on, kick me out of the carriage. Be your righteous male protagonist again. But the Ninth Prince had no intention of kicking her. Instead, he was rubbing his own thigh, staring at her with a look of deep resentment. This little vixen is surprisingly strong. But why didn't I kick her? A normal person's first reaction to being pinched so hard on the thigh should be to kick the person away. Why didn't I kick her? And I can't even get angry at her. It's really strange. I'm sorry. I was too excited to be rubbing your leg for the first time. I used a little too much force. The Ninth Prince's mouth twitched. It's fine. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. This time, it was Yi Qingwan's mouth that twitched. Who wants a future with you? If you stop hating me, the plot will completely collapse. No, I have to step up my game. Yi Qingwan was getting frantic. She really wanted to kick him out. The next second, Yi Qingwan pounced, biting down hard on the Ninth Prince's shoulder. Yi Qingwan, in order to provoke the Ninth Prince, used every trick in the book. She bit down hard on the Ninth Prince's arm. With a thud, the Ninth Prince clenched his teeth in pain. He grabbed a handful of her hair. He's pulling my hair. He's pulling my hair. I finally provoked him. Yi Qingwan was so excited she was about to cry. So, making someone angry is also hard work. However, just as she was feeling overwhelmed with gratitude, the Ninth Prince actually just gently pushed her head away and said, that's enough. Yi Qingwan was momentarily stunned. That's it? You're not going to curse me out a bit? Not going to kick me out of the carriage? I thought you were coaxing a child. Yi Qingwan returned to her seat, dejectedly saying, sorry, I got too excited. The Ninth Prince could only swallow his anger. That's nothing. Do you know how young Master Liang died? The Ninth Prince suddenly asked. I don't know. I was drugged with an aphrodisiac last night. I didn't see. There was a man hiding in your carriage. Yi Qingwan explained reflexively, it's not what you think. Nothing happened between me and that flower-picking thief. But then she thought, why am I explaining? Isn't this a golden opportunity to ruin my own reputation? I shouldn't let it go to waste. So she admitted it right away that I didn't want to, Brother Muyun. But I was drugged with an aphrodisiac. That's why I was. As she spoke, she squeezed out a couple of fake tears, tugging at his sleeve pitifully that I'm sorry. Do you think I'm unchaste for sharing a carriage with a flower-picking thief at night? Am I unworthy of you now? Go on, humiliate me. Spread it everywhere. Trample me into the mud so I can never recover. But the result she expected didn't come. That it's fine. That man didn't look very capable. I don't blame you. The Grand Tutor swayed, nearly falling over, and burst into uncontrollable laughter. He was afraid he might laugh himself to death in this carriage today. Does he have to laugh so loud? He's just trying to get attention here. Yi Qingwan clenched her fists in anger. That I'm fine. You two continue. She turned to see them both staring at her and quickly waved her hands. Yi Qingwan was dumbfounded, not very capable. Can you tell that just by looking? Her expression changed instantly. Brother Muyun, you don't despise me? The ninth prince lifted her chin. That I don't. If you truly love someone, you won't care about their past. I know you must have been forced and had your reasons. I swear I will never despise you for this. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan was so angry she almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Big brother, you said all my lines. What am I supposed to say? Then she threw herself into the ninth prince's arms. Brother, you're so good. In this life, I will marry no one but you. The ninth prince watched her face, turned from green to white, and smirked inwardly. Little thing, you think I can't handle you? Today, I just wanted to see if you dare to continue. Since you'll marry no one but me, then let me see your sincerity. Yi Qingwan was frustrated. Damn it, I'll just admit defeat today. A kiss won't make me lose a piece of flesh. The main thing is in front of the Grand Tutor, it's a bit, whatever. It's just a kiss. She closed her eyes and leaned towards the ninth prince. The Grand Tutor really couldn't watch anymore. Wait, seeing that Yi Qingwan was clearly unwilling. Shouldn't he stop this? Grand Tutor, what is the meaning of this? The Grand Tutor pointed out the carriage window. Someone had been waiting for the ninth prince for a long time. Yi Qingwan leaped to the window. It was Xia Xuejian. At this moment, Yi Qingwan's face visibly lit up with joy. My savior, you're finally here. If you hadn't come, I couldn't have kept this act up. Yi Qingwan had tried all sorts of ways to anger the ninth prince, but to no avail. Just when she was at her wit's end, the female protagonist finally arrived to stop the carriage. This made Yi Qingwan so happy, she almost jumped for joy. It was as if a goddess had descended from heaven to save her. But as soon as Xia Xuejian arrived, she pointed at her nose and scolded, Yi Qingwan, you're shameless. Cuddling with the ninth prince in broad daylight. It's truly indecent. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan hugged the ninth prince even tighter, not letting go, and said provocatively, first, it's nighttime. Second, Brother Muyun likes me hugging him. What's it to you? These words made Xia Xuejian's face turn pale with anger. You shameless woman, who in all of the you doesn't know that you drugged the ninth prince one moment and then spent the night in a carriage with that flower-picking thief the next, being all ambiguous? When Yi Qingwan heard this, she knew this was the effect she wanted. Keep going, say a few more lines. It would be best if you could attract an audience from the streets. The ninth prince pushed Yi Qingwan away, persuading, don't argue here. Yi Qingwan might not care about her own reputation, but with a ruined reputation, it would be impossible for her to become the empress in the future. But all of this was seen by Xia Xuejian. She instantly understood. It was just as she had guessed. The ninth prince must have been blackmailed by her, forced into this. Ninth prince, you don't have to be afraid. I will go to the authorities tomorrow and testify that the credit for suppressing the bandits on Phoenix Mountain is all yours. His Majesty will surely reward you for your merits. Then you will no longer have to be at the mercy of the Yi family. Hearing this, Yi Qingwan silently gave her a thumbs up in her heart. The female protagonist is truly the female protagonist. She acts decisively. If she says she'll help the ninth prince, she helps him. If she says she'll take down the Yi family, she takes them down. She does what she says. Superb. But the ninth prince just gave her a faint look. Thank you for your kind intentions, Miss Xia. But the credit for suppressing the bandits belongs to Grand Tutor Liu. It has nothing to do with me. Yi Qingwan was shocked to hear this. What do you mean it has nothing to do with you? She wanted to jump up and cover his mouth. The female protagonist is working so hard on her career, and you have the audacity to say you don't need it. You're really infuriating. The ninth prince suddenly felt a chill run down his spine, making him shiver. Looking at Yi Qingwan's expression, it felt like she wanted to pry open his skull. The Grand Tutor was also confused. As a man, he could say with certainty that the ninth prince had absolutely no feelings for Xia Xuejin. In fact, he was even a little disgusted. So the plot had long since changed. It's just that Yi Qingwan hadn't realized it yet. Or perhaps she had, but was unwilling to admit it. Therefore, she was trying every possible way, racking her brains to try and pull the plot back on track. Xia Xuejin didn't expect the ninth prince to refuse her. Isn't this the time when he needs merits to make a name for himself? Why would he refuse her? You're afraid of implicating me, aren't you, Your Highness? Xuejin is not afraid of anything, as long as I can help you. Xia Xuejin looked at the ninth prince with teary eyes. Yes, it's just as you think. Yi Qingwan gave a thumbs up for the female protagonist's persistence. At this moment, the Grand Tutor quietly sighed to himself about Yi Qingwan. That Yi Qingwan, with the title of supporting female character, is doing the work of the female lead and worrying like a father. It's both tragic and comical. If Yi Qingwan suddenly found out that I can see her complaints, what would her expression be? What would her reaction be? The more I think about it, the more I look forward to it. Although she was rejected, Xia Xuejin still didn't give up. Why Yi Qingwan? Lord Liu, since you are both here today, I will make things clear. I will testify for the ninth prince. The matter of claiming credit was my own decision and has nothing to do with the ninth prince. After speaking, she looked at the ninth prince with deep affection. Ninth prince, don't worry. Nothing will happen to me. In broad daylight, under a clear sky, I don't believe your political enemies would dare to do anything to me. With that, she left without looking back, leaving the ninth prince in the carriage completely bewildered. So, her meaning is, I'll let a young woman charge in a battle for me while I sit back and reap the benefits? Does she think she's being very noble? She's brainless. Yi Qingwan watched the ninth prince's ever-changing expressions. Is he moved? Suddenly, the ninth prince inexplicably asked Yi Qingwan, tell me, how has that idiot Xia Xuejin managed to stay alive this long? Yi Qingwan's face changed drastically. No way, boss. She's willing to go through fire and water for you, and you're not moved, but instead, you call her an idiot? Are you really the male protagonist? Yi Qingwan seriously suspected that she hadn't read the whole novel back then. Could this guy not be the male protagonist? The ninth prince had thought he could use this opportunity to have Yi Qingwan dine with him at his residence. But who knew they would run into Xia Xuejin on the way, who wanted to report the bandit suppression matter to claim credit for him. Before Xia Xuejin could go to the authorities, he had to report the Phoenix Mountain bandit suppression to the emperor. And so, the two of them were ruthlessly kicked out of the carriage by the ninth prince. This left Yi Qingwan speechless, staring at him blankly. Weren't we going to have dinner together? You should go back to your residence too. Don't let the prime minister worry. Now you're being considerate. What a heartless M.A.N.D. Oh, you still like him then? The Grand Tutor asked teasingly. I just like his aloof and indifferent manner. It's so cool. Grand Tutor, why didn't you take your own carriage when you came to pick me up? The Grand Tutor looked at her. He then glanced at the street, which had long returned to normal, and shrugged. Who would have thought that the dignified Grand Tutor would be kicked out of a carriage? Yi Qingwan was speechless. All right, let's walk back. They walked in silence. Since there's nothing to talk about, might as well complain a bit. Nangong-Muyun, you big idiot, you actually kicked me out of the carriage. I curse your entire family and your grandma too. I just massaged your leg and you knew to thank me. The female protagonist is willing to risk her life for you and you don't even thank her. Are you crazy? There's a limit to being tsundere and arrogant. Be careful or you'll lose your wife. According to the original male lead's personality, he should have felt a surge of warmth in his heart. But you actually called her an idiot. You should thank the original author for writing you as the male lead. Otherwise, a big fool like you would stay single even if you borrowed another 500 years from the heavens. I don't care anymore. Anyway, the final plot is that the female lead, for the male lead's sake, selflessly helps him claim credit. The male lead, to avoid implicating her, rejects her with a cold face but a warm heart. Doesn't that match up now? Yes, it matches. So, Nangong-Muyun's heartlessness towards Xia Xuejin just now must have been an act. His heart must have been fluttering with affection. He was just being cold to her to protect her. Yes, that must be it. The plot hasn't collapsed. It absolutely hasn't collapsed. I'll fight anyone who says it has. Ha 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 ha. The Grand Tutor finally couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing. She's getting worked up. She's getting worked up. Yi Qingwan was baffled by the Grand Tutor's sudden laughter. Grand Tutor, what are you laughing at? Nothing. I just think Miss Ya is truly a remarkable woman. Yi Qingwan secretly rolled her eyes. See? The sycophantic second male lead's attributes are starting to show. I knew it. How can a second male lead not love the female lead? Finally, some good news. She felt a little excited, but she still pretended to be unconvinced. Grand Tutor, even you think she's great? It's just testifying at the government office. What's so great about that? I could do it too. For Brother Muyun, I'm willing to go through mountains of daggers and seas of fire. The Grand Tutor looked at her little act and really wanted to roll his eyes. You're so devoted. I think you'd rather kick him into a mountain of daggers and a sea of fire. Yi Qingwan stared at him blankly. That you've misunderstood. What I mean is, it's as if she was sent by the Ninth Prince's political enemies to harm him, to openly declare she'll help him steal my credit right in front of me. How deep must the hatred be to do something like that? Damn it, why does the old Grand Tutor's words make more and more sense? Am I being brainwashed by him? So this plot, which I've patched up and finally gotten back on track, doesn't have the male and female leads falling more in love, but trying to murder each other? At this moment, the Grand Tutor extended his hand. That don't just stand there. Keep up. Yi Qingwan took the Grand Tutor's hand. She felt that the male and female leads' plot was already a mess. Now, even she herself was acting strange. She was actually starting to think the old Grand Tutor had a certain charm. Just as they arrived at her home, the Ninth Prince's personal attendant, Yu Wei, was already waiting at the door specifically to deliver a message. Miss Yi, my master asked me to tell you. He was waiting here for your return. Yi Qingwan was very surprised. What message did he specifically send you to deliver? Yu Wei stammered for a long time. His Highness said, Miss Yi, in the future, you must not casually hug and cuddle with men. Miss Yi, my master asked me to tell you, in the future, you must not casually hug and cuddle with men. After saying this, Yu Wei ran away, as if fleeing for his life, without any explanation. Yi Qingwan was very puzzled. She turned and asked the Grand Tutor, what's he running for? It's not like I'm going to hug and cuddle him. But if you think about it carefully, perhaps the Ninth Prince hopes that you won't be so handsy with him in the future, the Grand Tutor explained. Yi Qingwan, who was on the verge of death, was suddenly revived. So, Nangon Muyun is still angry, isn't he? That's what I'm talking about. As the cold and aloof male protagonist, how could he fall for any woman other than the female protagonist? His persona is still on point. See? He turned around and sent a warning. So what if I don't hug him? He even sent a warning. Yi Qingwan's mouth was full of disdain, but her heart was blooming with joy. She was fully revived. But then she turned around and started crying a river of tears that I'm so sad. Grand Tutor, I need to go home and cry all night. Then she skipped and hummed her way back to her residence. The Grand Tutor watched her go. He couldn't help but shake his head. Does that look like someone who's going to cry all night? Silly girl. The Ninth Prince wasn't warning you not to hug him. He was clearly telling you not to hug any man other than him. It seems Yi Qingwan was right. The Ninth Prince is indeed quite idle. It's time to find something for him to do. So he summoned Sure Hu. He instructed him to do something for him. After that, Sure Hu left. Half an hour later, the Liang family received a secret letter. Lord Liang was so grateful he almost knelt down to Sure Hu, profusely thanking the Grand Tutor. Burn the letter after reading it. Don't leak a single word. I was never here at the Liang residence today, Sure Hu said faintly. Lord Liang gritted his teeth. That I understand. Please rest assured, Officer Sure, I have not seen anyone from the Grand Tutor's residence today. For the blood feud of my son, I will definitely make him pay with his blood. At the same time, Xia Xuejian went to the government office, but was a step too late. His Majesty had personally issued an edict, giving the credit to the Ninth Prince and her. Xia Xuejian didn't expect that before she could even testify, someone had leaked the news. Her maidservant told her that it was Yi Qingwan who personally went to plead for the favor. Xia Xuejian was very surprised. To win the Ninth Prince's trust, she actually beat her to it. How shameless. She was so angry that she crushed the teacup in her hand. She didn't understand why Yi Qingwan didn't ask for credit for herself, but for her instead. What ulterior motive did she have? Or was she deliberately showing magnanimity to win the Ninth Prince's sympathy? That must be it. This cunning and treacherous woman. I underestimated her. Since she is unjust, she can't blame me for being unrighteous. To deal with her, I must find someone who can gain her trust to be my mole. Just then, another maidservant ran into the room from outside. This is bad. The Liang family seems to have found out something. They've already started to make a move. The Liang family decided to start their revenge for young Master Liang's death. Xia Shiwejian didn't expect them to act so quickly, but Xia Shiwejian wasn't worried. They would find out sooner or later anyway. Since she dared to make a move, she wasn't afraid of their retaliation. "My lady, what are you planning to do?" the maidservant asked, a little nervous. After all, although the Liang family couldn't compare to the Prime Minister's residence, they were still a marquise family. How could a mere fifth-rank official's family like theirs contend with them? I've already found out that young Master Liang was colluding with several bandits from Phoenix Mountain, smuggling official salt. But during the last bandit suppression, those 2 bandits already died. Now there's no proof. The bandits are dead, and young Master Liang is also dead. If the Liang family really has some conclusive evidence, we won't be able to explain ourselves at all. The maidservant became even more panicked. Since there's no proof, then let the living confess themselves. As Xia Shiwejian spoke, a profound and mysterious smile appeared on her face. As long as the Liang family made a move, she had a way to make them confess without a fight. By the way, how is the 9th prince? Has His Majesty rewarded him? Of course. I heard the edict to infef him as a prince of the 1st rank has already been issued. The investiture ceremony will be held soon, the maidservant replied. Hearing this, Xia Shiwejian breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. As long as it can help the 9th prince establish a firm foothold in the court, my efforts won't have been in vain. My lady, did the 9th prince thank you? He must be very fond of you now. The 2 maidservants asked joyfully. Xia Shiwejian thought of how the 9th prince immediately pulled away from Yi Qingwan the moment he saw her, and a sweet smile unconsciously appeared on her face. He must have been afraid I would misunderstand. Although he appears cold on the surface, I know it's because Yi Qingwan was there, so he didn't dare to speak his mind. I understand. I won't make things difficult for him. At this moment, the 2 people on the roof had dark expressions. Sure, who couldn't help but mutter in a low voice, "Is this Miss Xia an idiot?" Anyone can see that the 9th prince is very cold towards her. How can she spin it like that? The Grand Tutor silently glanced at Xia Shiwejian in the room. Why bother with an idiot? The situation in the court is unpredictable. She voluntarily came forward to claim credit and take the blame for someone, without any complaints and without asking for any reward. Let alone the 9th prince. Even he would want someone like that. Besides, Xia Shiwejian probably doesn't know that the 9th prince, who she thinks is very interested in her, is currently in his study, thinking about the person who injured him. This so-called female protagonist, who exists in name only, is probably useless now. Maybe I should take matters into my own hands, tie her up with a rope, and bury her on the spot. Sure, who was stunned for a moment. The old master's curses are really simple and direct. Why are we spying on a 9th prince and Miss Xia in the middle of the night? What's the meaning of this? Nothing. I just wanted to see how she plans to deal with the Liang family. But I feel like a genius like her can't come up with any earth-shattering plan. Have the loose ends on the Liang family side been cleaned up? After speaking, the Grand Tutor quietly left with sure who. Rest assured, my lord, no one will know that you were the one who leaked the information to the Liang family. Just as the Grand Tutor left, He climbed in through the window. As Yi Qingwan's complaints grew more frequent, his heart became more and more uneasy. He always felt that if this continued, Sister Shiwejian would get into big trouble. Xia Shiwejian was in a great mood when she saw him. "Brother Hiyu, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Why did you call me here in such a hurry?" Hiyu asked. "Do you know Zhong Yuan Hong Hong?" Hearing this, Hiyu froze on the spot. He originally didn't know, but after eavesdropping on Yi Qingwan's complaints, he now knew the gist of it. "Why do you ask about him?" "I need you to help me investigate him. Find out why he appeared in Yi Qingwan's carriage for no reason. Also, it seems he has already escaped from prison. If possible, I want to meet him." He was dumbfounded. Could it be that Sister Shiwejian will really, as Yi Qingwan's subtitles described, team up with Zhong Yuan Hong Hong to deal with the Prime Minister's residence? Zhong Yuan Hong Hong is the mole who will bring the Prime Minister's residence to ruin, and Shiwejian is the instigator. Are you looking for Zhong Yuan Hong Hong to deal with the Prime Minister's daughter, Yi Qingwan? Hiyu asked. Xia Shiwejian didn't want to listen at all. "Shiwejian, in the past, you endured for years for the sake of revenge. I know you are kind-hearted and brave, the purest of girls. But why do you have such great malice towards Miss Yi? Is it just because your heart belongs to the same person, the 9th prince, If the Yi family doesn't fall, the ninth prince will never ascend to that supreme position above all others, and she won't be able to become the empress. He didn't know that his sister Xuejian had changed at some point. If the ninth prince wants to ascend the throne, what he needs most is precisely the support of the Yi family. Xia Xuejian didn't notice the change in He Yu at all and continued, "He has me, and that's enough. I can rally all the officials for him, clear all obstacles for him. Even if it's a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, I'm willing to walk it for him. After he ascends the throne, I will be the empress. I want all those who once looked down on me, who bullied me, to bow at my feet." Xia Xuejian fantasized about her future. He stared blankly at the entranced her. The sister Xia Xuejian he had known since childhood had somehow become so unfamiliar to him. "Fine. If this is the life you want, I am willing to walk it with you." He turned around. "I will contact Zhong Yuan Hong Hong for you. We will meet tomorrow at the 5th hour outside the Juha Villa." With Yu's help, Xia Xuejian finally met Zhong Yuan Hong Hong. When Zhong Yuan Hong Hong saw Xia Xuejian, his mind inexplicably jolted. He felt that although she wasn't stunningly beautiful, she had a kind of "I see you and feel pity" fragility. It spontaneously made one want to protect her. Then he realized, damn it, could this be what Yi Qingwan called the female protagonist halo? Wow, it's that powerful? Xia Xuejian got straight to the point. "Zhong Yuan Hong Hong, I want to deal with Yi Qingwan. Help me." Zhong Yuan Hong Hong was stunned, his mind full of question marks. "Big sister, are we that close? So what if you're the female protagonist? You just come up and start ordering people around?" He jumped down from the wall and asked, "Why should I help you? Didn't you help me last time?" Xia Xuejian knew. He hadn't actually fainted in the carriage last time. How could a flower-picking thief be knocked out by a low-quality aphrodisiac? So she was confident that he would help her. "Since you knew I killed young Master Liang, but didn't expose me in prison, I knew you would help me," Xia Xuejian continued. But Zhong Yuan Hong Hong just felt that this woman was crazy. He had only pretended to be unconscious last time because he was afraid of being discovered by Yi Qingwan. Besides, what does it have to do with you whether you kill someone or not? Don't flatter yourself. But the thought that he had taken money to help this idiot woman bring down the Yi family was just so damn annoying. Damn it, just because she's the female protagonist, I have to help her? On what grounds? You know what? I should just kill this idiot female protagonist. Then wouldn't everyone be free? Thinking of this, a hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes, and Xia Xuejian became even more excited. It seems he's already getting into character. He just needs another push if the authorities find out that the famous flower-picking thief of the martial world is still in the capital. What do you think they will do? Hearing this, Zhong Yuan Hong Hong's face was full of anger. "Give you an inch and you take a mile? I give you a ladder and you think you can climb to the heavens? Are you threatening me?" This was the first time in his life he had been threatened by a little girl. "You don't have to tell the authorities. I'll go beat the drum at the yamen right now." With that, he turned and rushed out the door. Xia Xuejian was stunned, "But that's not what I meant. I wasn't inviting you. I just wanted to cooperate with you." But the person was long gone. "What's going on? Weren't we getting along just fine? How did it suddenly fall apart?" Xia Xuejian was feeling frustrated. A hand suddenly landed on his shoulder. "Who is it?" A person dressed in black appeared behind Xia Xuejian. His face was unclear, and he said playfully, "He won't cooperate with you. I will cooperate with you to deal with Yi Qingwan. How about that?" Yi Qingwan had originally been happy to hear that the ninth prince had specifically sent Yue to warn her, thinking the ninth prince's persona hadn't collapsed at all. Then her maidservant ran in excitedly. Miss, good news. His Majesty has sent someone to announce an edict. All the previous punishments against the master have been lifted." Yi Qingwan's brow twitched, sensing that something bad was about to happen. "Why?" "Of course, it's because you, miss, were brave and fearless, risking offending Grand Tutor Liu to fight for credit for the ninth prince and Miss Xia. His Majesty even has a special edict for you, miss. It's already on its way." Yi Qingwan was very confused. When did she go fight for it? How come she herself didn't know? Which little bastard used my name to tamper with the plot? I'll dig up his ancestral graves. At this moment, the cursed ninth prince suddenly sneezed, thinking he had caught a cold last night, not yet knowing his ancestral graves were almost in jeopardy. "Miss, what's wrong? The master doesn't have to be punished. Aren't you happy? Happy. I'm so happy I could die. Yi Qingwan's smile was uglier than a cry. If the plot followed my design, I would take all the blame in the end, and my parents could at least live out their old age in peace. Now, some bastard has come out of nowhere and changed the plot. In the future, it might really bring disaster to the whole family. For so long, she had been trying so hard to straighten out the plot, a large part of the reason being for the Prime Minister's residence. No, this won't do. She had to hurry up and push the plot forward, make the Prime Minister's residence fall quickly, so her father could retire and live out his old age in peace. To straighten out the plot, Yi Qingwan tried every means to make the Prime Minister's residence fall quickly. She used every trick in the book. This broken plot really made her want to complain about everything. Speaking of which, where is that flower-picking thief who fell from the wall? Why hasn't he come to harm me yet? Can't you be a little more professional? Have some professional ethics. But it's a bit hard on him. He clearly wants to kill me in his heart, but on the surface, he has to be like a sycophant, obedient to my every command. I'm suddenly a little excited to see how he's going to suck up to me. Will he serve me tea and water, or massage my legs and feet? Or he. In this novel, I'm always the one sucking up to others. I never thought I'd have a day where someone sucks up to me. The dog system is finally showing some humanity. It's my turn to enjoy the feeling of being fawned over. At this moment, Zhong Yuan Hong was struck by lightning. He was originally thinking of coming over to inform her that Xia Xuejian was going to deal with her. Now she's calling him a sycophant. Yi Qingwan, I'll kill you. He was just standing on a wall of the Prime Minister's residence, hesitating. He was hesitating whether to jump down. After all, although Yi Qingwan had played tricks on him several times, compared to her, he hated helping Xia Xuejian more. But now, there was no need to hesitate. He would kill Yi Qingwan first. At this time, Yi Qingwan was completely unaware of the situation outside and was still complaining to herself. But he's also quite pitiful. Before becoming a flower-picking thief, he was also a pure young man, devoted to a courtesan. Not only did he not mind her background, he even spent all his family's wealth to buy her freedom. To marry her, he even cut ties with his parents and clan, becoming a pariah. But on their wedding night, the bride actually eloped with her lover, making him the laughingstock of the whole city. Who could stand that? No wonder he specializes in kidnapping brides. He's been psychologically traumatized. So, don't get into relationships. They're so costly. Watching the prince, who was quiet one moment and furious the next, Yue was completely bewildered. Your Highness, this is the 8th teacup. Nangang Muyun's face was pale with anger. What kind of trashy story is this? Isn't Yi Qingwan my exclusive sycophant? Why give him extra emotional drama? Compared to the 9th prince's anger, the Grand Tutor was laughing so hard he almost couldn't breathe. So even a sycophant can't have a sycophant. Interesting. I've learned something new. The one who probably found it hardest to accept was Zhong Yuan Hong. Yi Qingwan, I will definitely kill you today. Even the king of hell can't stop me. He rushed in angrily, kicking open Yi Qingwan's door with a bang. His eyes were bloodshot, his face dark, and he stared fiercely at the bewildered Yi Qingwan. Also bewildered was the edict announcer, the Imperial Guard commander, the #1 master of the inner court, and the second-ranked master on Daiyu's expert list, Meng Tao. Who's this? Zhong Yuan Hong asked. The Imperial Guard commander, here to announce an edict. Yi Qingwan replied. His martial arts must be amazing, right? Zhong Yuan Hong asked cautiously. He's the second-ranked on the capital's expert list. Do you need something from me? Yi Qingwan asked with a questioning look. No. Zhong Yuan Hong shook his head, then get lost. All right. With that, he flew away with a whoosh. A wise man submits to circumstances. A true man knows when to yield and when to stand firm. I'll be back. Although Zhong Yuan Hong failed to kill her, Yi Qingwan saw his furious expression and figured he must hate her to the core. Zhong Yuan Hong's part of the plot was now on track. The heart that had been hanging in suspense finally settled down. Finally, there's a normal person in this story. I'll reward myself tonight. I'll go to the Yihong brothel for a few drinks. But as soon as she stepped out, that Zhong Yuan Hong, for some reason, was sneakily following her again. Hey, are you very close with Meng Tao? He asked. Not really. Can you be close with your master? That's not possible. Wait a minute, Imperial Guard Commander Meng Tao is your master? Yi Qingwan said to a candidate for the future empress. Is there a problem with being personally taught archery and horsemanship by the Imperial Guard Commander? What do you think? Do you want to kill me even more now? People from the martial world, don't you like to spar with evenly matched opponents the most? Zhong Yuan Hong opened his mouth, then closed it helplessly. It seemed there really wasn't a problem. No wonder this little vixen's lightness skill was so good. It seems she has some secret skills. If he made a move now and couldn't beat her, wouldn't that be very embarrassing? In the end, he decided to take a roundabout route, find a chance to test her skills first, and then decide whether to make a move. But in Yi Qingwan's eyes, he was truly the most dedicated and professional supporting male character in the entire story. He wholeheartedly wanted to kill her. She was so moved. Oh, I forgot something very important. Yi Qingwan's casual gesture scared Zhong Yuan Hong. Don't hit me. Suddenly, the air fell silent. The embarrassed Zhong Yuan Hong wanted to curl his toes. I can't fight you tonight. I have more important things to do. After speaking, Yi Qingwan leaped up. She almost forgot. Tonight is the 7th day after young Master Liang's death, the night his soul returns. By that calculation, the Liang family is going to fall tonight. Yi Qingwan leaped up. It hasn't been easy. The plot has finally reached its climax. If tonight's big show is performed well, the female protagonist will completely turn her life around and sing a song of triumph. On a dark and windy night, a time for playing ghosts and gods. Tonight is the 7th day after young Master Liang's death, the night his soul returns. If tonight's big show is performed well, the female protagonist will completely turn her life around and sing a song of triumph, while the female supporting character will be out of luck. This made Yi Qingwan overjoyed. She was finally going to be unlucky. However, she was still a little worried, because she always felt that the male protagonist personas were all subtly off. But the general plot was all on track. She wasn't too worried about the others for now. The one she was most afraid of now was that black-hearted old grand tutor. Because after the female protagonist's comeback, the first person she would deal with was him. And the person assisting the female protagonist was the old grand tutor. Moreover, the old grand tutor played a crucial role here. It could be said that without the old grand tutor, the female protagonist would not have been able to bring down the Yi family at all. So, there could not be any slip-ups with the old grand tutor. Although she always cursed him as the black-hearted old grand tutor, now that she knew the old grand tutor was going to help the female protagonist deal with him, she actually felt a trace of reluctance in her heart. The old grand tutor was usually fierce and menacing towards her. She didn't know what his attitude would be towards the female protagonist, but she still wanted to see what the usually arrogant old grand tutor would look like as a sycophant. As soon as the complaint was out, all the male protagonists looked at the grand tutor with questioning expressions. Hearing her inner voice, he was very speechless. How could he possibly help Xia Xuejin? The prime minister had just regained the emperor's favor and was at the height of his power. In the plot, at this time, he was still rushing to oppose the prime minister's residence. What kind of illness did he have? If it was for Xia Xuejin, he had met her no more than 5 times in total. What reason would he have to help her against Yi Qingwan? Unless the setting of the novel world was really that powerful. Powerful enough to change a person's nature in an instant. He could no longer sit back and wait. He had to try to change the rules of this plot. Otherwise, he would have to watch himself jump into a fiery pit. He summoned Shi Hu and told him to inform Marquis Liang Yuan that no matter what, he should not have any contact with Xia Xuejin tonight. It would be best to close the doors and not allow anyone to enter or leave. Then he arranged for him, after finishing this task, to find 1,000 household commander of the embroidered uniform guard and have him lead men to ambush the Xia family. As soon as Xia Xuejin appeared, they were to tie her up immediately, completely cutting off her contact with the Liang family. Let's see how she brings down the Liang family then. Soon, the prime minister had received the news. The grand tutor is really going against the Liang family for that young woman. The old butler bowed slightly. It should be correct. Marquis Liang Yuan originally planned to use young Master Liang's returning soul tonight to get rid of that young woman. But the news somehow reached Lord Lu's ears. The prime minister narrowed his eyes slightly. Originally, It was none of his business who Lu Xing wanted to help. But this young woman was an exception, because she would threaten his precious daughter. As night fell, the streets were already deserted. It was a dark and windy night with no one around. Only the Liang family was brightly lit, with cries echoing. Tonight was the night of young Master Liang's returning soul. Although Lu Sheng had forbidden them from going out, how could the feud of a murdered son be let go? Even if Marquis Liang Yuan had to risk his old life, he would make Xia Xuejin pay with her blood. At this time, the sound of the night watchman's clapper rang out. Marquis Liang Yuan, who had been resting with his eyes closed in the inner hall, suddenly opened his eyes. He then stood up, his gaze sharp as he looked out the door. At this moment, all the candles went out. Both the morning hall and the courtyard were instantly plunged into darkness. After a brief, deathly silence, the crowd immediately panicked. As they spoke, a white, ghostly face floated out from behind the screen in the inner hall. It was a complete ghost. Eerie ghost fires suddenly lit up around the morning hall, like wandering spirits darting around. Yi Qingwan was hiding in the distance. A perfectly good romance drama has turned into a horror movie. Novels these days are so hyper-competitive. Other female leads are still playing the I won't listen part in their romance dramas, while our female lead has already started acting in a horror movie. This is going to outcompete them to death. So professional, truly professional. And the male lead seemed to have gotten a clue too. The old grand tutor actually took a blow for the female lead on his own initiative. Looks like the day my plot gets back on track is just around the corner. You're as good as dead tonight. It's no use even if King Yama gives you CPR. The Liang residence is haunted. Zhong Yuan Honghong suddenly appeared beside Yi Qingwan, full of excitement. If he could, he would even want to make a cameo as the female ghost. Yi Qingwan shot him a look. What are you doing here? You look pretty excited. Of course I'm excited. I've never seen a ghost in my life. Do you think Xia Xuejin can win? Zhong Yuan Honghong asked. Of course, she can't win. She's dead for sure tonight, Yi Qingwan said through gritted teeth, but in her heart, she knew very well. How could she possibly die? She's the female lead. If she died, this story would be completely done for. Then, Yi Qingwan would have to enter the cycle of reincarnation again, being born and dying over and over. An endless loop. It's never ending. Dying hurts a lot, you know. Then what if she doesn't die? Zhong Yuan Honghong asked again. Can't you just shut up and watch the show? It's getting chaotic down there. Yi Qingwan prayed fervently. Late at night, in the morning hall of the Liang residence, balls of will-o'-the-wisp floated about, scaring everyone out of their wits. They ran around in chaos, crying for their parents. Lady Liang was so scared, she collapsed onto the ground, trembling all over. The maids beside her had long since vanished. Even though it was her son, she still felt a deep-seated fear. Marquis Liang Yuan was relatively calm. He shouted loudly, "What skulking rat dares to play gods and ghosts in my marquisate? Show yourself to this marquis." As soon as his voice fell, a shrill voice came from outside the door. "Father, mother, your son is in so much pain." The voice was long and mournful. Even Yi Qingwan and the others, watching from a distance, couldn't help but feel a chill run down their spines. Holy crap, this can't be real, can it? Playing for such high stakes. The laughter came from far to near. Finally, a figure floated into the morning hall. When they got a clear look, it was indeed the spitting image of young Master Liang. Only his body was tattered, as if he had been burned by something. The flesh was cooked. "Father, mother, the judge said your son harmed people and destroyed evidence. For this, he cast me into the hell of bronze pillars to suffer the punishment of the bronze pillar day after day. It hurts so much, huh? How could your fate be so bitter?" Lady Liang had never seen such a scene. Her heart ached, and she burst into loud sobs. Forgetting her fear, she rushed over to hug her precious son. With trembling hands, "King Yama is too cruel. My son doesn't have a single piece of good flesh on him." But Marquis Liang Yuan had been an official for many years. How could he be deceived by such tricks? He immediately drew his sword. "Impossible. This isn't real. This is definitely not my son. Whoever is playing gods and ghosts, show yourself to this marquis." Just then, a beam of golden light suddenly shone down from above the morning hall. It was so bright he blinked. When he looked again, a black-faced judge was seated in the hall, flanked by Wang Chao and Ma Han, Zhang Long, and Zhao Hu. In front stood a woman in white. The judge slammed his gavel. "Who is in the court below?" "This humble girl is Xia Xueshuang." This person was none other than Xia Shuijin's sister. This humble girl first accuses Liang Wenyi, the only son of Marquis Liang Yuan, of violating this humble girl, then begging for forgiveness, spreading rumors to slander me, leaving me unable to speak out and with my reputation ruined. I had no choice but to die. Second, I accuse Marquis Liang Yuan of covering for his son and colluding with the authorities, leaving this humble girl with no way to seek justice. Liang Wenyi, do you plead guilty? The judge sternly rebuked. Liang Wenyi knelt on the ground. This humble one pleads guilty. In that case, a life for a life. Wang Chao Mahan, bring out the dog head. Wang Chao and Mahan immediately flanked Liang Wenyi, dragging him to the dog head jaw. Without another word, with a kachak, his head was chopped off. The head immediately rolled on the ground. Even with Marquis Liang Yuan's strong mental fortitude, seeing his own son's head roll on the ground made him tremble all over. Marquis Liang Yuan, do you plead guilty? What crime does this Marquis have to admit to? Bang! The gavel slammed on the desk again. Audacious villain, you still show no remorse. Wang Chao Mahan, serving the dog head jaw. Marquis Liang Yuan immediately knelt and kowtowed repeatedly that I plead guilty. I plead guilty. It was I who covered for my son and bribed officials. Just then, the morning hall was surrounded by imperial guards. The one in charge was the Minister of Justice. Marquis Liang Yuan, you have truly failed His Majesty's grace. Seeing this, Marquis Liang Yuan was completely dumbfounded. It took him a long time to realize he had fallen into a trap. His eyes searched the crowd, finally locking onto Xia Shuijin, who had just removed the judge's mask. So it was you. Yes, it was me. Xia Shuijin looked at him, her eyes filled with hatred and the satisfaction of revenge. The moment Yi Qingwan saw her take off the human skin mask, she instantly understood. Isn't this the disguise skill the system gave her? When did she learn it? At this moment, Zhong Yuan Hong silently raised his head. Wow, the moon is so round tonight. If he hadn't spoken, Yi Qingwan would have forgotten about this undercover agent. It seems he is already connected with Xia Shuijin. Not bad, not bad. The plot is finally back on track. What relief. Marquis Liang Yuan broke free. It looks like he's going to risk it all, Zhong Yuan Hong said, suddenly patting her shoulder. The trivial matters that followed had nothing to do with me. Marquis Liang Yuan pulled a sword from somewhere and lunged towards Xia Shuijin. What did you say? Yi Qingwan yelled in shock. Yi Qingwan watched as Marquis Liang Yuan's sword was pressed against Xia Shuijin's neck, and she cried out in alarm. Holy crap. Don't do it, Marquis Liang Yuan. You bastard. You're launching a sneak attack. You sore loser. You little piece of trash. At this moment, the ninth prince appeared at the Liang residence. Yi Qingwan froze on the spot. Her eyes darted left and right. With great difficulty, she changed her tune to don't stop. Don't stop. Stab her to death. Xia Shuijin was injured. Yi Qingwan had to go see if she was dead. This female lead is truly useless. I look away for 1 second and she gets stabbed. Can you please pull yourself together? I can't protect you if you're like this. Quick, quick, take me down there. Yi Qingwan urged Zhong Yuan Hong. Zhong Yuan Hong rolled his eyes. Your lightness skill is better than mine. Why are you pretending you can't get down? You big shot. Aren't there people watching down there? Yi Qingwan pointed to the hall that I really don't know what's so shameful. Although he grumbled a bit, he still took her down. By now, the morning hall was in complete chaos. Marquis Liang Yuan had been restrained. Xia Shuijin was picked up by He Yu. He ran into a side room to perform emergency treatment. Yi Qingwan and the others could only pace anxiously outside the door, anxiously peeking through the crack in the door. And at this moment, the male leads. The ninth prince stood with his arms crossed, looking indifferent. Zhong Yuan Hong sat on the railing, chewing on a foxtail grass. He looked nonchalant and rather happy. The most outrageous one had to be the Grand Tutor. He actually took out a handful of peanuts from his pocket and asked, "Is that so?" while eating. Yi Qingwan really wanted to strangle him tonight. Bro, you're the second male lead, the female lead's dedicated sycophant, not a bystander. Can you show a tiny bit of professional spirit? You're making things very difficult for me. Just then, the door suddenly opened. A weary-looking He Yu walked out of the room, his spirits low. It seems Xia Shuijin's injury is quite serious. How is she? Yi Qingwan stepped forward and grabbed He Yu by the collar. Don't ask me how I got here. Don't ask me any questions. Just tell me how Xia Xuejin is. Hurry up and say it. The bleeding has stopped. If she can make it through tonight, she'll be fine. What do you mean, make it through tonight? What if she doesn't make it? Yi Qingwan took out a handkerchief and started sobbing. For now, we can only see how strong her will to live is. He Yu said, if she doesn't make it, I suppose that's fate. The ninth prince seemed a little gloating. She was worried enough already, and he was here making sarcastic remarks. Yi Qingwan wished she could smack him in the face. I never realized you cared for her so much before, the Grand Tutor said. Yi Qingwan was slightly embarrassed. What I mean is, I'm afraid she won't die completely. I'm afraid she'll pull through. In that case, let's go back. The Xia family will be here soon to take her back to their residence for treatment. The Grand Tutor said as he pushed Yi Qingwan towards the exit. Right. I'm leaving now. I never even wanted to come in. Whether she lives or not is up to her own fortune. I don't want to see her for another second. With that, the two left the Liang residence. Yi Qingwan didn't care about anything else. She quickly ran to get a pile of medicinal herbs and also exchanged her system's skill points for a top-tier surgery skill. Then, under the cover of night, she secretly slipped into Xia Xuejin's room. After performing this and that procedure, Xia Xuejin's complexion visibly improved. She let out a huge sigh of relief. She leaned close to Xia Xuejin. You have to live well. We're two grasshoppers on the same rope. I can protect you once, but I can't protect you forever. After finishing, she prepared to leave. Just as she was about to open the window opened by itself. Immediately, a pair of dark eyes met hers. Their eyes locked. She was stunned, and so was the other person. It was all so sudden. Grand Tutor, Yi Qingwan's eyes glanced down. She saw a medicine bottle in his hand and instantly understood. So he secretly came to save the female lead. As expected, his indifference earlier was just an act. Don't misunderstand. I was planning to poison her, the Grand Tutor quickly explained. This old Grand Tutor can really act. This young lady almost fell for his nonsense. A guilty conscience needs no accuser. If you want to save her, just save her. Yi Qingwan almost burst out laughing. This really is poison. If you don't believe me, see for yourself. The Grand Tutor was a bit anxious. He opened the bottle and was about to shove it under her nose. Yi Qingwan was dying of laughter. She was worried the plot was going off track before. It seemed she was overthinking it. Isn't he here in the middle of the night to deliver some warmth? Thinking about it now, just by Xia Xuejin's own power, a lady from a family with no official rank, how could she persuade the Minister of Justice to personally act in a play with her? Lu Xing must have contributed a lot to this. And the whole drama with the judge and the Liang father and son was clearly taught to Xia Xuejin by Zhong Yuan Honghong. The reason Marquis Liang Yuan was so agitated was probably because he was poisoned with a mild hallucinogen. This was Yi Yu's doing. Everyone is helping her out. The heavens have not been unkind to me. I'm going to go kill a chicken as an offering to the gods. The Grand Tutor came to Xia Xuejin's room in the middle of the night, only to run into Yi Qingwan. Originally, because of the old Grand Tutor's previous actions, she was worried he wouldn't follow the plot. Now it seems she was overthinking it. Isn't he here in the middle of the night to deliver some warmth? The heavens have not been unkind to her. She's going to go kill a chicken as an offering to the gods. Although she was ecstatic on the inside, on the surface, she still had to pretend to be very angry. Even if this is really poison, so what? Why did the Minister of Justice appear at the Liang residence tonight? Grand Tutor, can you explain that? Are you suspecting me? It's not that I suspect you. It's that the facts are right in front of me. Xia Xuejin is a lady from a family with no official rank. If she didn't have a backer, how could she get the Minister of Justice to help? And Yi Qingwan added, as far as I know, the Minister of Justice was recommended by you, Lord Grand Tutor, wasn't he? Lu Xing frowned. I did not. Yi Qingwan snorted. If the Grand Tutor says he didn't, then he didn't. We walk different paths. From now on, all ties between us are severed. After speaking, she prepared to leave. Lu Xing grabbed her by the wrist. Yi Qingwan, believe me, seeing how anxious he was, anyone who didn't know better would think she was the one in his heart. He can really act. Shut up. I wouldn't believe a single punctuation mark that comes out of your mouth. Bro, stop going off topic. Just do what you're supposed to do, okay? Just then, Zhong Yuan Honghong suddenly came out. Let her go. He struck out at Lu Xing with his palm. To dodge, Lu Xing had no choice but to let go. Take me away. By the time Lu Xing reacted, Zhong Yuan Honghong had already flown away with Yi Qingwan. Lu Xing watched the two of them disappear into the distance, extremely worried. This is a huge misunderstanding. He just couldn't figure out, how did the matter of helping Xia Xuejin get pinned on him? After leaving the Xia residence, Yi Qingwan was climbing the wall to get home. Thanks for getting me out of there tonight. Yi Qingwan patted Zhong Yuan Hong's shoulder in praise. But how did you know I was at the Xia residence? Just happened to be passing by, Zhong Yuan Hong said, a little guiltily. Was he supposed to tell her he'd been following her? It's getting late. You should go back and rest early too. After speaking, he jumped down from the wall. As soon as he landed, he saw a person standing ramrod straight in front of him. Father, why are you still up so late? Are you waiting for your daughter? Of course I'm waiting for you. Who told you not to use the main gate these days? Father can only wait for you here. Marquis Liang Yuan is dead. What? Dead? Wasn't he just taken to the Ministry of Justice's prison? How is he dead? Yi Qingwan couldn't believe it. He was ambushed and killed on the way to the Ministry of Justice's prison. Who did it? This was something Yi Qingwan truly hadn't expected. To strike a killing blow even after he had already fallen, that if I'm not mistaken, it was done by Lu Sheng's people, Prime Minister Xiang said. Yi Qingwan didn't expect that this old grand tutor, who was just acting all affectionate in front of her, would turn around and help Xia Xuejin eradicate the Liang family root and stem. What a schemer. Father, will Lu Sheng be a threat to us? Yi Qingwan asked. This is just father's speculation. Prime Minister Xiang patted her head to calm her down. Lu Sheng was originally propped up by His Majesty to counter us old court officials. It was only a matter of time before he stood against us. Now that the Liang family has given him an opportunity, he will naturally follow this line to tear open a breach. That young lady's scheming, methods, and decisiveness were beyond father's expectations. Of course, she was the female lead he personally propped up, after all. But on the surface, she still had to pretend to be jealous. Father, even you think highly of Xia Xuejin? What's so good about her? She's just a low-born young lady who can't be presented in high society. She's just impatient. Sooner or later, she'll suffer a great loss at his hands. He was supposed to handle everything for this daughter of his. But right now, he was beset by enemies in court. His Majesty had long been wary of the Prime Minister's residence. If Lu Sheng were to find any leverage, this century-old Prime Minister's residence would probably go up in flames, just like the Liang residence tonight. Meanwhile, Lu Sheng, who had been wrongly accused, had no outlet for his anger. He stood by Xia Xuejin's bed, took out the poison, and was about to make his move on Xia Xuejin. But his attendant suddenly rushed, "My lord, don't administer the poison yet. There's an urgent matter." Lu Sheng nearly jumped. Can it wait until after I poison her? My lord, Marquis Liang Yuan is dead. Lu Sheng was very surprised. When did this happen? Who did it? Speak quickly. Marquis Liang Yuan was dead. It was actually the Minister of Justice who did it. Lu Sheng was completely stunned. He didn't understand why. But his attendant told him it was because the Minister of Justice had a grudge against Marquis Liang Yuan and that group of old officials. Back then, his father was pushed out by this group of old officials, demoted to Lishan, and eventually died of illness on the road. The reason he was promoted was precisely because of the deep-seated hatred between him and that group of old officials. Lu Sheng rubbed his temples, his head throbbing. He had calculated everything, but he had actually forgotten about this. He had genuinely intended to help the Liang family tonight and wanted Xia Xuejin to die. Firstly, he didn't want to become Xia Xuejin's dedicated sycophant, as Yi Qingwan had complained, a stepping stone for her to climb up. Secondly, he wanted to test what effect the female lead's death would have on the world of the novel. But he had clearly done so much, yet the Liang family still fell, and Xia Xuejin still couldn't die. To be honest, he was a little panicked now. For the first time, he discovered that he couldn't control his own destiny. Wait a minute, does the Prime Minister know about our relationship with the Minister of Justice? Sure, who was stunned for a moment. Probably not. Why was his master's IQ dropping so frequently tonight? It's a court struggle. Prime Minister Xiang is no fool. Then he won't pin the murder of Marquis Liang Yuan on me, will he? This time, Lu Sheng was truly, utterly, and completely wronged. Sure, who nodded. Who else would he blame? Lu Sheng almost cursed. All his painstaking efforts were in vain. Just then, Xia Xuejin's maid came running, shouting that the young miss was awake. Sure who? Go kill Xia Xuejin. Sure who was stunned. Lu Sheng not only wanted her dead, he wanted her dead immediately. If she didn't die, how could he explain it to Yi Qingwan? It didn't matter what Prime Minister Xiang and the others thought, but he just didn't want Yi Qingwan to misunderstand him. He couldn't explain why. It was just that when she looked at him with suspicion in her eyes, he felt extremely terrible. While Lu Sheng's side was shrouded in gloom, Yi Qingwan's side was celebrating with gongs and drums. She was eating grapes and complaining. This black-hearted old grand tutor is a really good actor. But tonight's big show was truly satisfying. The female lead is finally going to make her grand entrance. If it keeps going like this, I'll soon be brought down and have my villain arc. It's finally my turn to pick up the little whip and torture the male leads. Even the grapes today are exceptionally sweet. As they say, good fortune lifts the spirits. In the following plot, after the fall of the Liang family, Xia Xuejin uses her connection with Lu Sheng to get in touch with the Minister of Justice. With one in the open and one in the shadows, the two of them quickly gathered evidence against the Prime Minister's residence, meticulously planning to bring it down. During this period, they also won over many scholars from humble backgrounds, helping them rise through the rank step by step to counter and sideline the current group of old officials. In this process, Yi Qingwan, as the biggest female villain in the whole drama, naturally has to be constantly tormented. As soon as Lu Sheng left the court, he was called over by Prime Minister Xiang. Lu Sheng bowed calmly, but he wished his feet were greased. It wasn't that he was afraid, he just didn't know how to face him. Lord Grand Tutor were both thousand-year-old foxes. This old man won't play ghost stories with you. Your Excellency is a bit too hasty. You've taken down Marquis Liang Yuan so quickly. Is your next step to make a move on this old man? Your Excellency misunderstands. Lord Grand Tutor need not explain to this old man. This old man is well aware of his position in court and has never hoped for mutual assistance with Lord Grand Tutor. This old man has a daughter whom he treasures like a pearl. Lord Grand Tutor had better not miscalculate. The warning was extremely strong. The moment he heard him mention Yi Qingwan, Lu Sheng's panic was visible. Your Excellency, you've truly misunderstood. I have never had any intention of harming Miss Yi. That would naturally be for the best. However, this doesn't seem like Lord Grand Tutor's style of doing things. Doesn't your lordship always leave no grass growing? Lu Sheng was stunned. Wasn't the phrase, leave no grass growing, supposed to be eradicate root and stem? Prime Minister Xiang has a deep misunderstanding of this humble official. This official will not offer much of a defense. I only hope your Excellency will observe this official's future actions. This Prime Minister will wait and see. Hearing this, Lu Sheng froze on the spot. Right now, he had to quickly clear his name of any connection to Xia Xuejin. He absolutely could not let Yi Qingwan misunderstand him again. After Zhong Yuan Hong sent Yi Qingwan back to the Prime Minister's residence, he stormed off to a hidden alley. Without a word, he kicked open the gate of a courtyard that he Dowrin, get your ass out here. Explain yourself to me. Did you steal the disguise skill I got from Yi Qingwan and give it to that wretched woman Xia Xuejin? At this moment, a man in a Taoist robe with an immortal-like air was sipping tea, not at all disturbed by him. Take money to solve problems for others. This old man is merely acting according to the rules of the martial world. Your usual debauchery is one thing, and this old man won't say anything. But you still have to do your job. How much did Xia Xuejin give you? I'll pay you back. Only then did he Dowrin raise his eyelids to glance at him, but it's not just about the money. This is the sect leader's will. The moment Zhong Yin Hong heard sect leader, his arrogance immediately vanished. But he still didn't quite believe it. The sect leader wouldn't meddle in the jealous squabbles of young girls. Dowrin chuckled softly. Oh, you really think this is just a matter of two girls fighting over a man? What else could it be? He was still unconvinced. These two girls are merely two stones thrown to test the waters of a bottomless abyss. The real war is in the imperial court, in the imperial family. Zhong Yuan Hong was taken aback, but he still plopped down on a stool, sulking that I'm not interested in your scheming. Anyway, I can't do this job of being an undercover agent by Xia Xuejin's side against Yi Qingwan. You'd better find someone more capable. After saying that, he slammed the door and left. Before leaving, he even kicked Dorn's gate off its hinges. That go fix your gate, old man. The male leads were all preoccupied with their own worries, but Yi Qingwan was extremely relaxed. These past few days, her father had strictly forbidden her from going out. She had been lying at home every day and was about to become paralyzed. With nothing to do, she might as well clock in for the day. Collecting rewards is the way to go. From today on, I no longer have to go to the academy to study. I'm officially a little rich lady who frequents pleasure quarters. In a word, awesome. But as awesome as it is, I still have to do my job. For example, messing with Nangong-Muyun. As the saying goes, as long as the male lead is hurt enough, the female lead's efforts are all in vain. According to the plot, next I need to make Nangong-Muyun be suspected by the emperor putting him in danger of being kicked out of the line of succession. Only then can the female lead, with her saintly halo, cut a path through all obstacles. All right, I forgot to complain about the old grand tutor. At this moment, Lu Sheng was on horseback. Why is she laughing like that while complaining about me? He had a bad feeling. This Yi Qingwan, she isn't planning to pin some idiotic thing on him, is she? Sure enough, the subtitles appeared again. The old grand tutor is going to confess to the female lead. He'll say something like, "You are not the unattainable regret in my privileged life, but the sunlight that cannot penetrate my suffocating life. Even if you reject me, please remember that you are the reason I breathe." Lu Sheng looked at the subtitles, and a cold chill shot through him. Are these words he could actually say to Xia Xuejian? Are you crazy, or am I? Seeing Yi Qingwan's commentary on Lu Sheng's subtitles, Zhong Yu and Hong Hong burst into wild laughter. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? The grand tutor, who was usually so prim and proper, lecturing them on the classics, could have such a tender and affectionate side. At this moment, the subtitles appeared again. The most dedicated one is that Zhong Yu and Hong Hong. Not only did he help the female lead with magic tricks to fool the Liang family, he even stole my disguise skill for the female lead. I think the position of top sycophant should be switched. Promote him to the female lead's #1 sycophant. Just after she complained, Zhong Yu and Hong Hong appeared on the roof of Yi Qingwan's house. "Hong Hong, it's raining. What are you doing sitting on the wall?" This call made Zhong Yu and Hong Hong feel at a loss. "Come with me for a trip." "Where to?" "Of course, to bring snacks to Brother Muyun. I heard he's been especially favored by His Majesty recently. His Majesty specifically appointed him to preside over this year's end-of-year ceremony. He must be exhausted. I specially made some delicious food to reward him." Zhong Yu and Hong Hong saw her, smiling like a flower, and immediately became vigilant. Reward? Could it be poison? He guessed right. She never shows up without a reason. Yi Qingwan was indeed going to cause trouble for the Ninth Prince today. The Ninth Prince had been in the limelight for so long. The plot where he gets suspected by the Emperor should be on the agenda. Zhong Yu and Hong Hong's face changed drastically. "You should go by yourself. I'm afraid of getting splattered with blood." "Go or not, your choice. I was afraid you'd be a third wheel anyway." Soon, Yi Qingwan arrived at the prince's residence. "Miss Yi, you've come at an inconvenient time. His Highness is discussing matters with the Minister of Rights. Perhaps you could come back another day." A guard blocked Yi Qingwan. "I know he's in a meeting. That's why I was afraid he'd be hungry and made him some snacks." The guard's expression was not good. He frowned and said, "Miss Yi, His Highness has already given orders not to see anyone during meetings." Saying that, he spread his arms to block her. But as soon as his hands were spread, a heart-piercing pain shot through his foot. Tonight, she brought a food box to see the Ninth Prince, but was blocked at the door by Yue Wei. His Highness has already given orders not to see anyone during meetings. He even spread his arms to block her. But as soon as his hands were spread, a heart-piercing pain shot through his foot. He let out a miserable cry and instinctively bent over to clutch his foot. Yi Qingwan paid him no mind. She stomped and ran. "You little punk, you dare block me? Go ask your prince if he still remembers the brick to his head." By the time she burst in, the Ninth Prince was lowering his head, speaking with the Minister of Rights. Seeing her enter, he immediately stopped and stared at her. Yi Qingwan smiled fawningly, placed a food box on their documents. "Brother Muyun, you've worked hard in your meeting. You must be hungry. I made you something delicious." She brought out a plate of hibiscus cakes and presented it to him. Then she braced herself, waiting for his explosive reaction. "Come on, send me flying with a slap. Let me witness your manliness. Smashing the whole plate of cakes on my head is also an option. Come on, it's fine. My head is hard." The Ninth Prince glanced at the cakes, then saw her braced and ready to be kicked. He immediately remembered her commentary. His brow furrowed instantly. "Just put it down for now. I'll eat with you after I finish my discussion with the Minister of Rights." As he spoke, he reached out and pinched her cheek. Yi Qingwan was completely unprepared. It was like a bolt of lightning striking her from the heavens. Her eyes widened to twice their size. She stared at him in shock. "What are you doing?" "I'll eat the cakes you made with you in a bit. You can sit over there for a while." The original plot was that she would bring him cakes, and not only would he not appreciate it, he would smash the plate directly on her head. Then she would start her villain arc and frame him, causing him to lose the Emperor's favor and be suspected. So what should she do now? He didn't smash the cakes on her head. So how could she start her villain arc? If she doesn't have her villain arc, what reason does she have to frame him? "Nangong Muyun, "You old bastard. Can't you cooperate with me just once? Aren't you just bullying me? Why are you being so good? Or are you hungry? Then this prince won't have his meeting. Let's go eat cakes first." Seeing her flustered and troubled expression, the ninth prince was very satisfied. "Little punk, if this prince lets you get your way one more time, I'll write my four-character name, Nangong backwards." After speaking, he directly dismissed the Minister of Rights. Yi Qingwan watched as the Minister of Rights and the others left happily, completely dumbfounded. How did it suddenly turn into a one-on-one private mode? This isn't right. This is very not right. That weren't you hungry? Come over and eat. Yi Qingwan glanced at him. "Bro, could you please wake up? You're the cold, arrogant, and female-hating male lead." Right. Last time Prime Minister Xiong seemed to have some misunderstanding about this prince. "He didn't forbid you from coming to see me, did he?" Yi Qingwan was stunned, then instantly understood. No wonder he was like a completely different person today. It was because my dad put pressure on him behind the scenes. That would make sense. After all, at this time, he still has to pretend to be on the Prime Minister's side. That scared me to death. I thought the plot had collapsed again. Suddenly, he pulled Yi Qingwan's hand. "Feed this prince." Yi Qingwan was stunned. "Let me ask you, are your teeth strong enough? You dare to let this young lady feed you? I'll smash your jaw. Haven't you always proclaimed your love for this prince? Will you feed me or not?" She endured it and could only bite the bullet. She picked up a piece of cake and brought it to the ninth prince's mouth. "Open your mouth. You really have the nerve to eat it. In that case, I must have my villain arc today. Since he's not cooperating, I'll have to take a risk and use forceful measures." She licked her lips, a little scared. "He's not going to smack my mouth crooked, is he? If I die, I die. To escape the loop, I'll risk it all. What are you staring at this prince for? What are you trying to do? Yi Qingwan, don't be rash. We can talk this out. Brother Muyun, Wanner really likes you so much. I will marry no one but you in this life. There's no time like the present. Since you were so pleasant to Wanner today, why not just take Wanner?" After speaking, she went straight for his lips. Just as she was about to kiss him, a pain shot through her head. Their heads collided. Instantly, they both clutched their own heads. Tonight, she was going to force herself on Nangong Muyun. But before she could even kiss him, they almost gave each other a concussion. But now that things have come to this, she can only go with the flow. She rubbed her head, staring at him with tears in her eyes. "Brother Muyun, do you despise me that much? To avoid kissing me, you'd rather hit me with your head." Nangong Muyun's brain suddenly short-circuited. Did this prince hit you? He hadn't even figured out what happened. And he saw her crying and accusing him. He was a little flustered for a moment that I didn't mean to. This prince just didn't react in time. "How about you kiss me again?" This left Yi Qingwan dumbfounded. "You're making it very hard for me to stay in character. Nangong Muyun, I gave you my heart and soul. To help you, I was willing to risk my Prime Minister's residence's century-old foundation. But in your eyes, I'm just a cheap slut who throws herself at you. You'd rather have a low-born young lady than give me a second glance. When did I ever want that low-born young lady? Do you really think I, Yi Qingwan, can't get married and am just desperately clinging to you? I didn't." The ninth prince saw that she seemed genuinely angry and was at a loss for a moment that I'm not finished. "Don't interrupt. Since you are so heartless, then don't blame me. We have a long road ahead of us. You just wait and see." After Yi Qingwan delivered her harsh words, she turned to leave. Oh yeah, villain arc successful. She turned and prepared to slip away. But the ninth prince was genuinely anxious. He rushed over to block her path. "Let me explain. I really didn't mean to hit you just now. I just didn't react in time. That's exactly what I wanted, for you not to react in time." Yi Qingwan naturally wouldn't listen. "If I listen to your explanation, what's the point of my villain arc? Get out of the way," she hissed. Not only was the ninth prince stunned, she herself was taken aback. This seemed to be the first time she, as the female villain, had yelled at the male lead. The ninth prince was dumbfounded. "She's really angry at Wanner. I really didn't." Yi Qingwan didn't want to hear a single word. She just wanted to bolt. So she brought out the classic lines of a silly, sweet female lead that she had treasured for years. "I won't listen. I won't listen. I won't listen." She pushed him away and rushed for the door. In his haste, he directly cupped her face and kissed her. Yi Qingwan felt her face being held in place, and then Nangong Miyun's face magnified before her eyes. Before she could react, a cool sensation touched her lips. Then, the two of them stared at each other wide-eyed. Her mind went blank with a buzz, instantly short-circuiting. "Can we talk properly now?" "He kissed me." "You bastard. Have you been watching too many domineering CEO dramas? You're even copying the force kiss." Yi Qingwan raised her hand, wanting to send him flying. Let him see why flowers are so red. "I really want to hit him. What should I do? The plot and character settings have all collapsed. But what now? The ninth prince, who was originally flustered, saw that Yi Qingwan was even more flustered and helpless than he was, and he instantly calmed down. He even felt a little like laughing. Little punk, you can't keep up the act, can you? However, his happiness didn't last for 2 seconds. Yue suddenly rushed, Yi Qingwan. How audacious. You're bullying my prince again. You're simply shameless. Yes, well said. As expected of you, my dear Yue. You're simply my savior. I'll have the system give you an extra chicken leg later. Yi Qingwan took the opportunity to jump away, pointing at the ninth prince and Yue angrily. NAMA-MANGAI. So this was your plan? Pretending to accept me, but actually having your servant humiliate me. NAMA-MANGAI was simply sitting at home when disaster fell from the sky. You two just wait. I will repay the shame of today double in the future. After Yi Qingwan recited her lines, she scurried away, leaving behind a dumbfounded ninth prince. You can run once, but this prince doesn't believe you can run away next time. He shot a harsh glare at Yue. Yue was stunned for a moment. Is the prince angry? It's understandable. Yi Qingwan was so brazen with the prince. How could the prince not be angry? Damn it, I shouldn't have let that woman in. Yue was still blaming himself for not protecting his prince well, completely unaware that his prince was angry because he had ruined his good moment. Your Highness, it's all my fault for not keeping an eye on that shameless Yi. I've let your Highness suffer. You'd better keep an eye on yourself. Yes, it will absolutely not happen again. Next time, even if she beats me to death, I will not let her take a single step into the residence. The ninth prince was speechless. He couldn't be bothered to argue with him. It's not like he would understand anyway. He directly sent him out. After being kicked out of the study, Yue felt it was his fault. The prince must feel deeply humiliated. He must inform Miss Xia of today's events. So he wrote a letter and had someone deliver it to Xia Xuejian by express horse. Xia Xuejian was still recuperating. When she saw You's cry for help, she flew into a rage. Yi Qingwan, that shameless woman. How dare she use the same old trick again? She clenched her fists. You just wait. I will definitely ruin your reputation and make you lose everything. She couldn't go out to comfort the ninth prince now, so she prepared to write a letter and have her maid deliver it to him. The maid stammered, Miss, there's no need to write a letter. This morning when I was buying rouge, I passed by the ninth prince's residence. I heard people on the street saying that there's a rumor that from now on, anyone with the surname Xia is not allowed near the ninth prince. What? When Xia Xuejian heard this, she immediately concluded that Yi Qingwan was behind it. Xia Xuejian wanted to write a letter to the ninth prince to comfort him, but when she learned that the prince's residence was turning away anyone with the surname Xia, she was furious. She immediately concluded that Yi Qingwan was behind it. She even dares to plant people near the ninth prince's residence. This Yi Qingwan is becoming more and more arrogant, but she was very happy that she was so arrogant. The more arrogant she is, the more it proves she's getting desperate. Yi Qingwan, you just wait. Once I've recovered from my injuries, you and the Prime Minister's residence are next. At this time, Yi Qingwan had just escaped from the ninth prince's residence, scared out of her wits. As for Xia Xuejian's accusation about her planting people, she was completely unaware, because she hadn't planted anyone at all. Those were all people the ninth prince had planted himself, for the sole purpose of making sure Xia Xuejian never appear before him again. Seeing Yi Qingwan come out of the ninth prince's residence, Zhong Yuan Hong immediately rode his horse over Yo. Did you see a ghost in the ninth prince's residence? 10,000 times more terrifying than a ghost. Let's go. I can't stay in this place for another second. Now that you say that, I'm even more curious. What, did the ninth prince hit you? Zhong Yuan Hong asked teasingly. I'd rather he hit me. Don't ask, let's just go. Yi Qingwan couldn't be bothered to explain to him. It was pointless. She quickly opened the commentary panel. This matter needed a good rant, even if there was no reward. It was well worth a few curses. That psycho ninth prince, damn it, actually forced a kiss on me. He does have a forced kiss scene, but that's with Xia Xuejian. She's the female lead. Did his nerves get crossed? Did he mistake me for Xia Xuejian? Or is he just purely a look supremacist and any woman will do? Luckily, I was quick-witted and managed to forcibly bend the plot structure back. I guess I successfully had my villain arc. It just feels like a hollow villain arc. After all that, all I got was a forced kiss from the male lead. Zhong Yuan Hong, who was in the carriage, heard Yi Qingwan's commentary and burst out into shameless laughter. No wonder she had such a constipated look on her face. She was actually forcibly kissed. What are you laughing at? Yi Qingwan looked at him curiously. This guy's acting weird. Zhong Yuan Hong Hong quickly wiped the smile off his face and said seriously, nothing. I just saw a kid outside get bitten by a dog. At the same time, Lu Sheng also saw the commentary. He didn't laugh. Instead, he was unusually silent. He was originally the most rational of these male leads. When he first learned about the plot, he had a watching a show and avoiding risk attitude, trying his best to follow the plot's development. Even though he later had murderous thoughts towards Xia Xuejin several times, he was always able to suppress them with reason. But today, seeing the Ninth Prince's abnormal behavior, he began to wonder, had he, without realizing it, developed feelings for Yi Qingwan? Or was he simply going against Yi Qingwan? But how would a Ninth Prince know what Yi Qingwan wanted to do? Could it be that he could also see Yi Qingwan's commentary? At this thought, a jolt went through Lu Sheng. That's right. If he could see it, then it was possible that others could see it too. It was never said that only one person could see it. In that case, how big a vortex would the court situation become because of Yi Qingwan? Lu Sheng's eyes narrowed into a line. He summoned Shihu. Keep a close eye on the Ninth Prince these next few days. See if he exhibits any abnormal behavior. Meanwhile, Xia Xuejin was also angry, but there was nothing she could do. She couldn't get near the prince's residence at all right now. She could only pull Yue aside for tea as a thank you for tipping her off. I'm much better now. I wanted to write a letter to the prince to console him, but it's difficult to get a letter into the residence. That's why I asked little brother Yue to come out today to ask about the prince's situation. Ever since the prince was kissed by Yi Qingwan last time, he's been gloomy. He's not intentionally giving you the cold shoulder, Mississippi. Thank you for your comforting words, little brother Yue. Yue lowered his head shyly. No matter how he looked at the female lead, he liked her. He didn't know why he liked her. Anyway, whenever he saw her, his heart would pound. If the prince and Miss Xia were to marry in the future and she became the princess, he would only ask to be able to see her from a distance every day. That would be enough. Miss Xia, you don't have to be so polite with me. I've always felt that only a good girl like you is worthy of my prince. You don't have to be such a stranger. You can just call me Xuejin. In the future, if Yi Qingwan tries to harass the Ninth Prince again, remember to tell me immediately. Yue didn't even dare to look up, just nodding vigorously. He tentatively called out, Xuejin. Xia Xuejin also smiled in response. Tell the Ninth Prince that I've already found a weakness in the Prime Minister's residence. I'll be able to bring down Prime Minister Xiang and Yi Qingwan soon. In an instant, it was as if 10,000 fireworks exploded in Yue's eyes. He was so nervous he couldn't even speak, only able to nod continuously. Seeing him like this, Xia Xuejin covered her mouth and giggled. Little brother Yue, I'm also meeting someone here today. You see, Yue tactfully took his leave. After parting with Yue, Xia Xuejin found the man in black. Although she still didn't know his identity, he had indeed helped her a great deal in bringing down the Liang residence last time. Especially the disguise skill he gave her, which was so realistic it was simply breathtaking. The disguise skill you gave me last time was very useful. Do you have any new leads this time? This is the Prime Minister's residence's gift list from previous years. See if there's anything useful. The man in black handed her a list. It was normal for officials to exchange gifts. As long as the amount wasn't too large, it could hardly be considered bribery. Although there were no large-value gifts on the list, the sheer number of officials was enough to show the Prime Minister's power in court. His power not only surpassed all the princes, but even the emperor was faintly unable to suppress him. This was the emperor's biggest taboo. This could be put to good use. Even if they couldn't find evidence of the Prime Minister's residence accepting bribes, as long as the emperor believed he was guilty, he would not be able to escape death. While Xia Xuejin was meticulously gathering evidence to bring down the Prime Minister's residence, Yi Qingwan started complaining again. I suddenly thought of a very fun plot. As soon as this familiar yet terrifying laughter started, all the male leads instantly became vigilant. What kind of bizarre plot was going to appear this time? Bodhisattva, please don't let it fall on me. Everyone prayed thus. When Yi Qingwan laughs, even King Yama takes a detour. This shows how terrified the male leads were. For you, this prince is willing to fall. I have no regrets, even if I am condemned by thousands. Xuejin has been cautious since childhood, but for the prince, I am willing to do anything, even die. Oh, it's the Ninth Prince. It has nothing to do with them. Lu Sheng and the others immediately breathed a sigh of relief. The Ninth Prince was about to grind his teeth to dust. Why is it this prince again? Yi Qingwan, have you run out of plot to write? Why do you always manipulate this prince? The ninth prince was both angry and scared. This prince is about to be targeted by that terrifying woman, Xia Xuejin again. He was genuinely scared from the bottom of his heart. He couldn't even sit still. He quickly summoned his trusted guard, Yu Wei. Quick, prepare the carriage. This